Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Chud Watch. I hope you're doing well on this Monday. I hope your weekend was good. I hope your first day of the week is going well. Welcome everyone. Today we have some interesting stuff to look at as opposed to every other day, which is just terrible and I don't know why you stick around. We have a new video from BassFzz entitled "The Future Is Now, Alex, and We Don't Need Feminism for It." So we'll take a look at that. We got Black Pigeon Speaks, another MGTOW type, talking about China's plan to, quote, eradicate effeminate men. Yikes. We have Terrence Popp back again with more Civil War nonsense. Maybe we'll do some coping manga. I don't know. I don't have a lot of stuff on deck today. We might have to find more. Who knows? See, Baja says my voice sounds great. I'm not even trying to do anything right now. So, I don't know. I don't understand my own voice. Nick Bush YPP says, "Hey-oh, oh crap, BassFzz, this is gonna be a good one." Sorry, I'm just trying to get to the messages and stuff. Zombie Tomcat, thank you for subscribing with 8 months, says 1 more month until that sweet stream, baby. Start thinking of names. Conservative Twins made a new video about 8 types of white people. We might take a look. Stone Corbell says, I know today isn't Tinfoil Tuesday, but did you hear the new conspiracy theory going around TikTok that snow isn't real? I did. We'll be taking a look at it tomorrow. You need more chuds, Hannah? I can find you some. I lost half my chud folder and half my conspiracy folder, and I don't know what happened. My Google Chrome just lost half my bookmarks. I'm so sad. C. Wyatt says, your voice work is paying off. Sounds great, Hannah. Thank you. The White Power Twins make a new video. Okay, that's pretty funny. I love Everything is Terrible. Someone says BuzzFeed. BuzzFeed aren't chuds, are they? That's like stuff that anti-SJW people tend to cover. Oh, they misread BassFzz. Yeah. I'm calling 5-second rule on that one. I won't ASMR you the whole stream, by the way. I know this is annoying. Sorry. My, Don't tell him that, Pa. Don't tell him how dirty the floor is. My, body's craving salt. My anti-androgens make my body go, salt, please. So I need some to fuel my body for this stream.
Well, he fired me because he wanted everyone in the band to wear a tie, and I refused.
Michael stands up for his principles.
He's the Norma Ray of the music business.
I didn't even care how management was going to brutalize me. No, I stood up on that table, I rang that bell, and I said union.
That's not you. That's Norma Ray.
And I stand up on the bench, totally Norma Ray, and I write strike on my town meeting flyer. Wow!
I know it wasn't easy getting your co-workers to join in on your little walkout.
Really?
You showed some real leadership ability, Norma Ray.
We should get paid, at least minimum wage.
Look who's Norma Ray.
Karen, you can't work her that hard. She's been on her feet all day. Oh my God, I'm so Norma Ray.
You are so down with strikes. They should call you Norma Ray.
Who's that?
It's Sally Field movie about unions. Doesn't matter.
What is this, Norma Ray?
Daddy
Back to
Sume
work.
says Golden Girls, yeah.
You too, Billy.
I can't
can't wait to walk in and tell my boss to shove it. It's gonna be all
Am I
Jerry
interested in a
Maguire
currently
mixed in with a little
practicing
Norma
cult
Ray.
leader? Sure.
By the way, your son really knows how to quit a job. This guy makes Norma Ray look like an introvert.
A musical adaptation of Norma Ray, produced by Maxwell Sheffield and Cece Bootcott.
Do I even have a union? Where's Norma Ray when you need her?
Strength in numbers? You should call Norma Ray and find out how it's really done.
Everybody agree with Norma Ray here?
Oh, we're reading the nurse's newsletter, and Norma Ray over here wants to shut the whole place down.
Suddenly I'm feeling very Norma Ray. I'm gonna have the labor department down here so fast they won't...
All right, calm down, Norma Ray.
Put your hand up, Norma Ray.
Dial it down, Norma Ray.
Nice work, Norma Ray.
Oh, relax, Norma Ray.
Now, Norma Ray.
Okay, Norma Ray.
Let's move on, Norma Ray.
What's that supposed to mean?
I've heard of Norma Ray.
I'm still humming the sweatshop number.
What, you got union trouble down at the sand factory, Norma Ray?
You know I love when you get all Norma Ray, Karen Silkwood, Aaron Brockovich up in this piece.
Now get Norma Ray out of here! Tough day on the line, Norma Ray?
Please stop calling me that.
And I can't deny the fact that you like me. Right now. You like me.
Okay. Let's move on. Okay. Should be hydrated. Should be salted up. Should be good. Who's Norma Ray? A character from a movie about unionization or something. Mixed Gothy Queer says, I saw this today and it seemed like some gross stuff. He seems like a lefty, but he talks about how it's ageist to judge that he wants to F teenagers. Oh no. Oh God. Okay, I guess we're probably going to start with this then. Because this looks horrifying. This was just sent to me by Mixed Gothy Queer. And I guess this is someone who's perhaps, let's just say someone who's a creep being a creep. So let's take a look at this.
You know, you'll say like 1,000 times, 18 is good enough for me. You'll be 40 years old. You'll be a dude. 18 is good enough for me. 18 on the dot would be great. An 18-year-old girlfriend would be great.
Oh, this is starting out. There's absolutely no prelude to him being a creep, is there? Oh, this one's going to be rough.
And I'm checking IDs. You could say it's age inappropriate all you want, bigot. But it doesn't matter. Your opinion...
It's not bigoted to make sure that you sleep with people who are consenting adults. Both of those words are important. Consenting and adults. The adults part is because under a certain age, the age of majority, we have decided as a society that that's the age at which you have the mental capacity to understand the long-term ramifications of sleeping with other people. You can't sleep with people. First of all, even outside of legality, with a big enough age difference, it's weird. And I'm not telling people what to do. Like I said, if you're consenting adults, you can do whatever you want. But there's going to inherently be some sort of power dynamic separation if you have a huge age gap. And it's not good. So if you're like a 40, 50-year-old man, even like a 30-year-old man, and you're like, I only date 18-year-olds, you're gross. And the same in reverse, by the way. If you're a 40, 50-year-old woman who only dates 18-year-old guys, not cool. Again, there's no law or anything. They're 18. But I find it kind of creepy. Kind of creepy.
Opinion literally doesn't matter. It's kind of like saying it's going to be black women for me. It doesn't matter what your fucking opinion is. You fucking racist.
What?
I'm not saying it's only going to be black women for me. What I'm saying is you are entitled to have your preferences. I'm just telling you sometimes those preferences are grounded in bigotry and that you're wrong. Men mature with age. Think of how many times you
Okay, women also mature with age. Everyone matures with age.
call your boyfriend an idiot. You'll be like 25 or 30, and how many times you just call your boyfriend an idiot? You'll be 18, especially when you're 18, your 18-year-old boyfriend. It's like you have to babysit his ass and constantly warn him of what's coming, usually a breakup, if he just fucks around and screws you. I did that with my girlfriend when I was 16. My girlfriend was 18, and she said, okay, I'm going to go clean my room now. Don't come up there, because I want my room to be clean. And of course I walked up and said hi to her.
Why? She asked you not to. What?
And then she broke up with me soon afterwards. So when you're young, you make these stupid fucking mistakes. And because you're older and you've made all those mistakes, and you might not even be sexually very experienced. I lost my virginity when I was 27. You also have the experience of knowing the stupid things people do to get their girlfriends to dump them. Like cock blocking some other guy, just based on age phobia or classism. Your girlfriend is going to look at that like, that's not very reasonable. You're being an asshole to that guy for no reason. So when I say go fuck yourself, bitch, to Chris Hansen.
There are reasons to dislike Chris Hansen. Absolutely. To Catch a Predator isn't one of them. At least not in broad strokes. Not because he specifically catches creeps coming to statutorily assault young people. You can argue about, like, his modality of doing this, and the fact that he was involved in a situation where one of these people fled the scene and went home and ended their own life, or whatever. And also, especially Chris Hansen's behavior, like, on YouTube, since he started doing the online thing. Sure. But not specifically because he catches people who are breaking the law. Those people would be breaking the law and being creepy regardless of whether or not Chris Hansen was there to document it.
This Popeye-looking motherfucker. See, he's trying to get in my way. It's not in the cards for you. What I know is you wouldn't be saying anything unless it was in the cards for me. You're just trying to gaslight me, you little fucking bitch. It doesn't matter, you Popeye-looking motherfuckers. It doesn't fucking matter. I'm entitled to have my own thing. You can have your own thing, and I can tell you that you're wrong, and then we can have a civil discussion about it. That's... fine and fair. You call me a cabin name only, which is really weird because ACAB wants dialogue with Thin Blue Line. They're not there to kill each other, is what I'm saying. ACAB and Thin Blue Line want dialogue between each other so that they can resolve some issues.
What does this have to do with your what huh?
Overspending on military shit and racism shit. They want dialogue with each other, and I want dialogue between them because you never get anywhere by not talking. You'd be one of these dumb asshats like, don't bring up racism, you're just going to cause more racism by talking about racism. No, you don't. You cause less racism. You have to look at this.
What does this have to do with the age of consent?
Washington State. This is a very liberal state. It's also a Democrat-controlled country right now. So if you talk about racism, good. Talk about the evils of racism, that'll cause less racism, good. You should talk about the evils of all forms of bigotry. You should talk about the evils of people cock-blocking you. You should.
What do these things have? What? Racism? Cock-blocking? What is the relation between these two things? I'm so confused.
Because it'll cause less of it. So it doesn't really matter what you say about me online, Christopher. You're a hypocrite. You're probably out there fucking...
Watch out, Chris Hansen. He used your first name in its entirety.
Around anyway. I know for a fact that...
Someone posted an AP News article. What's this? Lucas Werner, 37, ejected from Spokane Starbucks after asking teenage... Who's Lucas Werner? Should I recognize that person? 37-year-old Spokane man is claiming age discrimination after he was barred from a Spokane Starbucks after asking a teen barista on a date. This is the guy in the video? Oh, no! Oh. Thank you for the context. The man, Lucas Werner, runs a website and Facebook profile dedicated to promoting his belief that older men and younger women produce healthier babies. He claims to be a, quote, scientist without a degree in science, according to his Facebook page. Man, I need to go back to school and get my degree in general science. If you're gonna yell at me about the chewing on YouTube, save your keystrokes. Werner's account, posted on his Facebook page December 22nd, said he wrote a barista at the downtown Main Street Starbucks a note asking her to dinner. Quote, a barista said I was funny and that she liked me, so I politely thanked her, sat down to drink my hot chocolate, wrote her a nice note as to not interrupt her work schedule, asking her out to dinner if she was interested, and walked out, Werner wrote. He said he returned to Starbucks the next day, where a police officer told him he was banned from the store. Werner wrote Starbucks requires workers to be at least 16, which is the legal age of consent in Washington. Because of that, he said there was nothing creepy about him asking her on a date. This is a clear case of age discrimination, he wrote. No, it's not. The story made national headlines over the weekend. The story prompted many service industry workers to share stories about being harassed by customers at work. A Starbucks spokesman said in an email, "We have no tolerance for any such inappropriate behavior or harassment, and we will continue to support our store partners." The funny thing is, I think this would probably be the case regardless of his age, just about. Almost no one wants to be hit on that way at work. The safe thing to do is don't hit on people while they're just doing their jobs. If they're interested, they'll contact you or give you their number. Let's not harass people in the service industry, okay? Can we do this? Werner's website, Conversation Our Age, mostly consists of a long note imploring millennial women to date him. He also has a page of links to scientific articles and blog posts showing older fathers may produce babies with longer telomeres, a piece of human cells that impacts aging. Longer telomeres have been linked to longer lifespans. Werner had not yet responded to a message seeking comment. Okay?
You're a wife cheater. You're probably even a wife beater. I can't say that for sure, but I know you crashed a $13,000 check to cover up your affair with your mistress, you fucking dumb hypocrite. So it doesn't really matter to me if you're harassing me over the internet. I block you, I tell you to go fuck yourself and block you, and you leave me alone for a little while. It'll always be some...
The check thing, if you guys don't know, someone kind of asked in the chat. Chris Hansen got taken in briefly because he wrote like a large check to the over like $10,000 or something, and the check bounced, and they took him in for that because, you know, you can't be bouncing huge checks like that. It's basically like theft. He didn't end up paying that back. For the record, he claimed it was some mistake. I don't know a ton about it, but it was an issue that got resolved.
Very gonna go fuck your mother. But if you're going to harass me offline, I have a telephone in my pocket. I could call the police. That's the reasonable thing to do. Just because someone's ACAB and they're being harassed doesn't mean that the ACAB person wouldn't call the cops. Defund the police doesn't mean we won't rely on the police if we can't handle the situation. There's people that don't like violence. And if you get in their face because
Can we excise this guy from the left? Because he seems like a huge creep.
Like violence, they're still going to call the police. People have phones in their pockets. There's cameras everywhere in the downtown area, even under bridges. Those lights have little pinpointing cameras in it. So if you're under a bridge or in an alleyway, the businesses still have a camera pointed at you. I usually stick to the downtown area. So wherever I'm at, there's no fucking blind spots in Spokane when it comes to a camera. You're gonna get caught. I have a phone in my pocket. You think I'm some big pussy that only says this stuff on the internet. Well, I mean, ask around. If you fucking harass me in public, I'm still gonna say the same thing. Go fuck yourself, bitch. I'm gonna call the police if you do it one more fucking time.
What does this have to do? Okay. Let's see if we can find his website. He's got an Instagram, but I don't. I think that's him. Right now, Creep Lucas Werner is still active and still creepy as ever. There's a Twitter thing. This is... Cute older daddy facts. Oh, no! Okay, hold on. Let me look at some of this stuff off, just in case. Who knows what he could have posted. Oh, yeah. Look at, like, what's that flag? Is that the anarchist flag? Think it's an anarchist thing. Ancom? Thought so. Let me take a look. Ladies, I'm here for a honey, not a buddy. Pro-direct democracy and CEO salary caps. I design board games. Bigots are walking, talking garbage DNA. Yikes. Where's his website? I haven't been able to find anything about his website that got mentioned in that article. Makes me sad. What is this? Look at this meme he made of himself. Oh, gotta catfish me to be a big man? How pathetically insecure, and it just goes to show how I'm right about everything, you telomere, attrited bigot hypocrite. What? Oh, God. What the hell is this shit? Who makes memes of themselves? Ugh. Okay, this made me laugh a little bit. Money isn't God, then release yourself from money. And then it's a link to his Patreon. Speaking of which, if you want to donate to my Patreon, there's a link in the chat. Smooth transition. Whoa. Videos. How many videos does he have? Oh, no. Look at the number of videos. Uh-oh. Someone said, I think, that he might use slurs occasionally, so I'm gonna have to screen these videos before we watch them, but I think we just found someone new to add to Chud Watch, even though he's, like, a anarchist or whatever. Fun stuff. Anyway, I don't have much more to say about that. Creepy, though. Creepy. bits messages. Daddy Sume says, always check IDs, people, always. Tucker White says, and I already want to commit toaster bath, the profane priestess. Did you catch Lindsay Ellis's video on media transphobia? It's a very good companion piece to Contra's last vid. No, I didn't. I'll check it out. Tucker White says, a perfect response to Mr. Lucas Werner. And then there's a link somewhere. Can I go get that? Let me see. Yeah, it's too far up for me to find, but... Enreath, Chris Hansen, come fight me. Here is where you can find me. Also, Lucas, stop harassing me, Chris Hansen. BDE Bone, thank you for following. Toeen24 says, calling it. He's only left to get girls. Maybe. Staying quiet now with $5 says, can't stick around today as a nap is desperately needed, but I hope you have a great Monday. I hope your nap's good. Clay Donius, thank you for resubscribing with 3 months, says, heyo. Nice. Here's the link.
Inner quiet.
Shut up, shut up, shut up! Jesus Christ, man, what the hell is wrong with you? Please, just shut up! Fuck!
He's an anarchical socialist. Gotcha. Too bad he's a fucking creep. What's this? Someone sent this. It's like about a cult leader or something? That sounds interesting.
Just saw that I was so much freer in my experience than most anyone else I ever met. It's rare that someone really obtains the power to alter physical reality, but it is possible. I don't really have a definition of cult, but you could break it down as curious and unconditionally loving tribe. C-U-L-T.
No, that's not what a cult is. That describes some strategies cults use to get you in, love bombing, but that's not a good overall explanation of what a cult is.
The positive expression of a cult. Usually people mean something more negative by cult. Most people are emotionally and spiritually lost.
You are scared little toddlers. F you!
My name is Bentinho Massaro, and I consider myself to be nothing, really. I wear many jackets. People call me spiritual teacher or leader, entrepreneur. Basically, I'm whatever I need to be of service in the ways that I can be of service to people. So currently we are in Barlow at a 7-day residential retreat. So over 400 people are coming together. So it mostly consists of the sessions. There are also a couple of optional sessions like morning yoga, Kayut yoga, and some optional sessions with my friends, and some dancing sessions, some ecstatic dance. There'll be a party on Saturday, a DJ will be coming. People get the invitation to meditate on their own and apply some of the work that we do during the sessions.
If you're gonna pick a cult, pick one that has good parties. That's what I always say.
At some point, I did some writings, but I also started to shoot some videos. And that's really when people caught on to me, because I guess they liked the vibration of it, the vibe that came off of it, the giddiness, the smile, the spontaneity, the youthfulness.
It's my birthday.
Pretty awesome here. It looks pretty amazing. Everything is possible, and I love you. Trinfinity is just the word or symbol I came up with as 3 points of the infinity. One pointing to the field of energy out of which everything is made manifest. One pointing to the absolute, which is the source even of that energy, the one infinite creator. teachings that address the individual, like how to live an empowered life here in a very human way. I want to be of help to truly anyone who desires this type of help. Is it going to take everything?
899 euros and 16.99. It varies. Yikes.
You have. In fact, it's about giving up everything you have for the sake of the vision.
I think what Bentinho teaches from my own experience.
He weirdly gives me like a John Doyle vibe, but if John Doyle was like a hippie, if he was like a weird spiritualist type, he reminds me a little bit of that.
Experience is that it's about awareness, about consciousness, and what it all relates to, or what it means, or how it functions. So it's a big subject, so to say, and you can maybe subdivide it in different things.
How to be in the middle of life. So how to be in the center of the storm while everything around you is moving, and how to stay centered so that you yourself can decide what you want to create in your own life.
This is kind of the chair you guys picked in the room is kind of like that scene from The Matrix where you offered the blue or the red pill, remember? Did you do that on purpose?
It's always The Matrix with these people. Guys, see literally any other movie with themes of opening yourself up to
levitation
new
I just
realities.
Really believe that these things are
I don't care if it's Dark City, just watch a different movie.
That's possible. Altering the weather is one fun, usually innocent example of how we can begin to explore some of that capacity. I've had, I'd say, over 95% success with this one in particular. I started researching telekinesis. This got me very curious, and I started practicing it myself. And
oh no, he thinks he can move things with his brain?
Experimenting and training, and I did have some results with that.
Oh no, he's gonna do a magic trick and pretend that he can move things with his mind. Maybe this is just, yeah, guys, chat's right. This is how the Jedi Temple starts, okay? This is just we've been living in a Star Wars prequel all along and we just didn't know about it, okay? Jar Jar Binks is behind it all.
Just some tinfoil that I could spin on a table. At some point, I rolled a pen across the table.
If I was the interview, I'd be like, great, we brought some gum with us. Do it on this table right now, where there definitely isn't someone either blowing on it or underneath the table has a magnet and is controlling it.
And that's when I thought, okay, this is enough. I don't have to practice this anymore. I've proven it to myself. It's possible. And ever since, I haven't really done it or even attempted it anymore. Know that you feel good right now. You feel really, really good right now. Spaceships are docking in and out of Station Earth. And all these ET beings are enjoying interacting with us. And I'll share with you this beautiful location, which I believe has been generated by my family.
You don't make claims like that in 2018 without showing your work, right? Like, all right, so you can change the weather, you can move a pen across the table. Let's see it. Let's see it. And if you can't show it, and if you're not showing it, why are you saying it? And if there's deception going on at the fundamental level of the leader saying that he can do things that he can't actually do, then yeah, you've got one of the three pillars of cultic organization.
Being here feels like a big mirror, so I get to know myself even better than I thought I already knew.
I think it's a really cool thing. I'm really thankful to be here. The atmosphere is pretty relaxed, so it feels a little bit like holidays.
This place looks exactly how I expected it to look in my head. I'm a little disappointed.
What's your calling? What's your calling? Q. 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 What's your calling? You. What's your calling? If you weren't so
high up in your own ass about this fucking concept of respect, you would actually see how much love there is behind me saying what I say.
Honestly, I think we should all have more presentations in our life where someone just flips the page on that big, like, presentation board and it just says, F you! You know, that's the sign of a dominant speaker. He'll tell you F you to your face! Still not as good of a speaker as Don Beveridge.
And when you stumble upon a point of view that feels good about someone else being raped, are you willing to accept that point of view? That's the paradox of humility. So what? Somebody is being triggered. That is funny.
Oh, God!
How is that not funny?
It's so funny to trigger people's PTSD in regard to their assaults. Ha ha ha. That's disgusting. What's wrong with this guy? You know, I was wondering, does this really count as Chud Watch material? I'd say it just qualified.
Came out, I was not surprised. I understand that the nature of my work rubs some people the wrong way. I've seen a lot of envy and jealousy and opposition. Well, it was a good lesson for us to become more mindful as to who we just let into our everyday meetings or what have you. I'm a good person, my intentions are good, and I want what's best for everyone. I don't want anything from my community. Sometimes the role of the teacher, again, is to slap them awake. Sometimes that comes out with a little F you. Another one of the allegations that a lot of spiritual teachers, including myself, receive.
Oh no! Not only did he choose to dress up as the Joker, which is one of the classic blunders, never dress up as the Joker. He chose to dress up as Jared Leto Joker. This man is unhinged, okay? You might even say he's damaged. We live in a society. What are you gonna do?
The whole topic about money. We as a company do make quite a bit of money. I guess it's all relative. But the majority of that goes straight back into the creation of the events, the supporting of the employees, all the technical equipment and the visions and the video production.
Good morning. I just arrived in Dubai.
For the record, there's nothing wrong with actually dressing up as the Joker. I've seen really great Joker cosplays. Hold on. Let me show you the best Joker cosplay. I love the guy who does this. This one. This guy's the best Joker cosplayer I've ever seen. He goes to a ton of events. And I love it. But the thing with the Joker is that if you can't do it really well in terms of your costume or your makeup or your ability to sort of manifest that character, it winds up comical in a bad way and just is, like, embarrassing. Like, I don't mean any disrespect against this individual, right? But it's just not quite there, so it just ends up looking silly. And there's nothing wrong with looking silly, especially if you're, like, just getting into cosplay. You're gonna look, you know, you're gonna improve over time. The Joker's a rough one. The Joker's a really, really rough one to get into and be taken pseudo-seriously. It's just so easy to fuck that one up. I don't know. Maybe start with the Riddler and work your way towards Joker stuff.
Last night.
And yes, I will also occasionally spend that money on something that nourishes my vehicle. Sometimes you need to stop the car and get some gas, right? I enjoy good whiskey, I enjoy a good cigar, I enjoy watching movies, I enjoy taking my team to, say, a nice location somewhere in a different country.
I can only eat so much granola in silence out in the sunshine. I need some strippers and some blood or some gravy or something.
Government officials insist that this is an isolated incident.
Is it possible that some of the spiritual concepts have played into his perspective? That's definitely a possibility. I've never felt any type of guilt or responsibility.
Continue to have faith. See it as a movie. Like, you're just watching a movie. When things get intense, go like, this is a movie.
I just felt his heart when I heard the news, and I was like, oh, Brent. So, yes, it was a bit of inconvenient timing because the article had just come out in terms of, you know, our sort of image to the world. So I got a lot of backlash from that.
If they're sitting in a room where the general impression is that the person sitting in the throne at the front of the room has some sort of special power, is realized in some way as some kind of higher being, and then he opens his mouth and he suggests that yes, he can change the weather through his thoughts, or that he can levitate, or he talks to aliens or whatever. If those dynamics are in play, I would suggest that anybody in that crowd stand back and say, what makes this person so special?
And of course, you have the concept of a cult. But yeah, for me, myself, you know, I'm just here to experience it for myself.
You ever see a bird chilling in the background of a video, just like their only concern is like, I gotta find a worm, or I gotta find a fish, or whatever. And you're just like, I want to be that bird. I don't want to deal with student loans. I want to find a worm and then go back to my nest. That's the life.
I don't think these are a cult, but yeah, if someone else thinks, that's fine.
But I don't think that's what it is.
Oh. Well.
I don't know.
What is it?
Is the volume way different? I can turn up the video if it's too low.
Tell me quick and tell me now. What is it? The train is leaving. You have no time to think. What is it? It is only because you still believe it is serving you that you keep perpetuating that which does not serve you. Do you feel that? Can you see that? Can you love yourself? Are you worthy of that? Are you deserving of love? Are you infinitely worthy? Are you infinitely worthy? Are you infinitely worthy?
I see he saw Good Will Hunting, and he's just decided to adopt the mannerism of repeating your statement over and over until someone cries.
Yeah? Are you?
Oh.
The clue is, you know, if you run any one of his videos through a transcription robot, see whether or not it makes sense on tape in text, and that's a big clue, because most of the time when loaded or circular language is used, it will show itself like, you know, a rusty nail sticking out of a board.
It's a hard thing to grasp, but everything that has a manifest form is not what it seems. In truth, there are no objects.
Reminds you of Tom Cruise's character in
Vibration
Magnolia.
or level of
Still Tom Cruise's best performance to this day.
consciousness or level of understanding is steadily increasing collectively.
Actually, maybe the guy he played in Tropic Thunder. That's also pretty high up there.
The effects of that may look good and look bad, and that may alternate, may go through waves. But that's just the surface level. Every cubic inch of space,
I haven't seen Eyes Wide
matter
Shut, guys.
Is infused with a higher concentration of light, or the original energy of creation, out of which everything comes. Everything is inherently empty and meaningless.
Of course he's not going to say that he's running a cult. The techniques are standard.
Imagine this whole room not giving a damn about their life. How fun would that be?
If we look at the tyrants in the past, I greatly respect their accomplishment. You can learn from Hitler and apply it in a positive way.
Oh God, no!
It's relatively easy for someone to gain a position of influence over millions of people. And you literally feel so powerful that you don't care if someone puts a gun to your head.
So is this guy just like a sociopath and he doesn't know, or... Ooh, hype train.
I do not consider my group as a cult, if by cult you mean what most people mean by it. Some dysfunctional group of people completely under the spell of a manipulative leader. I would not say that's the case, but you can ask my community, and I mean, it's up to anyone to make up their minds. No desire to start a dysfunctional community.
Okay, but like cults can be functional for long periods of time. Like the Jim Jones thing didn't happen immediately. The Heaven's Gate tragedy didn't happen immediately. They were functional communities for long periods of time prior to those cults self-destructing. That's how cults work. They work for a long period of time until they don't. Level 1 of the hype train complete. Thank you. Crazy. That's some scary stuff. Really. But, I don't know. We probably won't hear about that again unless some scandalous stuff comes out. Who knows, though. Moving on. We'll do some Everything is Terrible for background noise while we do the hype train, and I'll do bits messages and stuff.
Feeds him to his snakes. He's just a lonely old man.
We're at 28% of the level 2 hype train.
He does have snakes. He does have snakes. He does have snakes.
DM Trey says, yay, just got off work. Well, welcome to the stream. EO&80 says, I can most a piece of tinfoil. That's great, but could you change the weather for me? I would prefer to see that one, please. Oh, move a piece of tinfoil.
Lonely old man, lonely old man, well,
Wing the ultimate nug, even if you can change the weather with your mind, don't. It's a war crime. Daddy Sume, I thought that was our beloved Supreme Justice. Dan Rossi draws with a 9-month streak. Says just got home from a first day at a new job and Hannah is streaming, and it's a stream baby. This baby's name shall be Samuel. Samuel Beckett. Mr. Sir King Knight, yo, with 20 bits. Not sure if you know of Teru Boru, but in the ancient days of Japan, there were grifters just like this guy who said they could telekinetically change the weather. So some Shinto people were really angry and commanded them to change the weather from rain to sunshine to save the lives of the village. When they failed, they were, well, it was not undeserved. Oh no. 64% of the level 2 hype train. Rivan Ashbearer, thank you for following. Tucker White with 20 bits. Maybe it's because I'm an atheist and haven't been to church in years other than for weddings, but what would someone want to follow a pasty white dork like this pastor or whatever his grift is? There are a variety of reasons people join cults. Maybe they feel excluded from other communities and cults have a way of bringing you in and making you feel acknowledged and loved and all that stuff. They love bomb you a lot. So it could be something like that. You could be lost and looking for something, and it gives you a sense of meaning, even if that meaning is untrue. Von Tux with 100 bits says, I just saw the John Doyle porn saga. I had a buddy in college who would seek out repressed Republicans for hookups. Said they were great in bed when they cut loose. I think he'd just give about anything for a slice of Doyle. Oh boy. Daddy Sume, Eyes Wide Shut, Hannah. Again, I haven't seen it. Purple Nickel, thank you for subscribing with 3 months, says, sorry I'm late, got a new job. Glad to tune at the end of a long day. Congratulations. Old enough to know better now with 100 bits, says, my partner just got diagnosed with COVID and I'm sad and scared. Someone tell me it'll be okay. It'll be okay. I'm sorry. That's rough. It really is. Stay safe yourself, okay? I know that's hard, but just stay safe for both you and them. Wagroads 13 with 200 bits, thank you. Space Executor with 100 bits, thanks. DM Trey, thank you for gifting a sub. Cupcake Chaos with 45 bits. Nick Bush YPP with 25 bits. It's like the frog in a boiling pot of water analogy. 69% of the level 2 hype train with a minute left. Excessive Observer with 500 bits, thank you. A Colston with 20 bits says, you'll do everything you can to avoid bass, huh? True. Daddy Sume says, Hannah, you smell different when you are awake. Oh, God. MW1642 with 100 bits. Numanogs with 100 bits says, I feel genuinely sorry for these people. Lots of us seek answers to life. I was lucky I made friends who shared their journey with me. I still think that our frailties define us, not our strengths. And be very careful, John, with 100 bits. 20 seconds left of the hype train with 75%. I don't think we're going to make it today, guys. It's unfortunate. Wagroads! Oh, did we do it? Wagroads, thank you for gifting a sub and getting us just over. So the hype train continues. See, the longer we keep the hype train going, the longer I can avoid doing bass. So, Mitchell Drummer with 130 bits. Thank you. Dr. Dave says, thanks for all the laughs, Hannah, for my girlfriend and me. Of course. Thanks for watching. Quinn74, thanks for the 100 bits.
There you are, everyone. I'm looking everywhere for you guys. Come on, everybody. Don't just stand there. Come on, we're going to have a good time today. Come on, everyone, let's go.
Launch Green Incorporated presents Blueberry. Today's episode is being very, very safe.
What the hell? It's too loud. Sorry. Daddy Sume says, Hannah, I'm sorry I scarred you with my view of my D&D character. No, it was beautiful. Thank you. HHYSSOP says, this is unsettling. It is. 17% of the level 3 hype train. Earnfist, thanks for the 100 bits. Purple Nickel with 100 bits says some bits for our queen. Thank you. Numanogs with 100 bits. Thanks.
Give me fuel, please.
Having a little car trouble?
What? I don't understand. What's happening here?
We figured it out, Einstein.
Mission.
Mission? That's right. Come on, come on! Malnutrition is the word I believe you so desperately seek. What's happening?
2 minutes left in the hype train. Oh my god, he turned into a robot.
Only I can quench motivator. Welcome to the family.
Did he turn into a car man? 30% with a minute and a half left.
You've witnessed the action.
Jenny Wren says thanks for the stream, Hannah. Of course.
Now, get ready for the most thrilling episode yet.
Once I wipe out the Bible man with his own pride, it'll be a different story.
You've just been voted villain least likely to succeed. Hurry! You're too late!
The narrator, 9000, says, just got here for the hype train. Is this off-brand reboot? I think reboot is off-brand reboot.
Prince of Pride
Looking for me?
threatens to destroy Bible
Nick
Man and the
says, a
friendship
car
of two
man
young men.
better bite the dust.
Until they can't stand each other.
That's it. I'm out of here.
Bible Man might face his ever-present nemesis in
Just under a minute left in the hype train.
What's gonna happen now?
Lock in on the action.
The countdown has begun. The newest Bible Man adventure
is here.
Time for a showdown.
Bardlock Moses, thank you for subscribing with a 6-month streak. It says just got off
This
work.
won't be
Hope
such
work
a
went well.
pleasant meeting for you. Oh, this is delightfully evil.
I will stop you from destroying Jordan.
As Bible Man finds himself,
I'm gonna regret this. Everyone in this pitiful town will be at my mercy.
It could be total chaos. It would be total chaos.
it could be total chaos.
Hurry, Bible Man, hurry! Drop the gold fury on him, Ludicrous.
Bible Man and his new
Moses says for the
sidekick
hype
Cypher
train. Come on.
teach a troubled young man.
About to be over.
Isaiah 54:17, that no weapon formed against you shall prosper,
Vengeance is yours, Bible Man. Give in to your violent rage.
and that violence is never the answer.
I will never give in to senseless violence.
Bible Man.
The funny thing is, Jake and I have watched that episode of Bible Man at some point, and he says, "I will not give in to violence," and throws away his off-brand lightsaber, only for God to immediately vaporize the villain with senseless violence. Colossus TV says, today on Dragon Ball Z, will Beast Wars Megatron finally defeat Bible Man? Find out. I'd watch that. Am I the only one? I'd watch that. Bumble Homestead, thank you for subscribing with a 10-month streak. Wow. Draw Hook Music Geekery with some bits. Is it bad? I kind of want to watch Bible Man. No, it's funny. Okay. I put it off long enough, probably. Now that we've avoided the topic, I guess it's probably time to check back in with one of our least favorite people to cover, and that is BassFzz, who is a MGTOW type person. Doesn't like women very much. Doesn't honestly like anyone very much. He has some pretty dang awful stereotypes, both about men and women. Kind of a creep, overall. So I guess let's take a look. Bardlock Moses says, oh no, do we need a safe word? No, there is no safe word. Today, we're just going in, okay? The safe word is exiting from the stream. So let's take a look.
That's cool. I'm gonna hit two birds with one stone on this one, right? So Alexander, Grace, and I have our disagreements with one another.
I think Alexander Grace is another person sort of similar to him.
No, right?
This is a sign of danger. Never let a woman get comfortable. Yeah, this is another MGTOW type guy, and apparently I already have him bookmarked. So
I haven't voiced very many. I've actually attempted to make many responses to them, and then I've lost them over time. But me and Alexander, there's some things we don't see eye to eye on. And this is kind of one of them. It's a very long video. I'm not going to go through all of it, but I am going to give you guys a good basic gist of this. Okay, and so Alex makes a prediction or a hypothesis that in the future, feminism will move towards the idea of polygamy. Right? If you caught the last video, I mentioned that stuff. Right? Polyamory, interestingly enough, is already something that feminists or liberal-minded people are already invoking, right? So
I've heard some people talk about like polyamory or polygamy if we're talking about specifically in marriage. I don't really care what people do as long as everyone involved is a consenting adult. Doesn't matter to me. I don't care.
Now you can see two birds, one stone. So Alex believes that over time, feminism will morph itself into allowing women, I wouldn't say even allowing, but defending the idea that a woman should be in a polyamorous relationship or in a polygamous marriage or relationship, so to speak.
Well, presumably, if this were some sort of social movement that came to the forefront of our cultural conversation, then presumably the conversation would not just be about women being involved in this, it would be about anyone being involved in polyamory or polygamy or whatever you want to call it, if we're talking about like the legalization of the marriage of more than one person, or if we're just talking about relationships between more than one person. That's already a thing, and it doesn't exclusively have to have to do with women or men. It can be any adults who are consenting, whether they're men or women or cis or trans or non-binary. It's fine. Who cares?
I'm gonna allow Alex to just kind of take us away so you guys can get a good gist of what he is saying here.
I predict that in my lifetime, there will be a shift in societal attitudes and a powerful movement to normalize polygamy, one man marrying multiple women. I'll go further. I predict that this movement will not be spearheaded by men, but by women. In fact, the right to share a man in marriage and to be one of many wives is going to become a rallying cry of feminism. Right now, that might...
Okay, but it isn't a gender-specific thing. If you legalized, like, polygamy in the multiple people getting married sense, that would apply to everyone. You could have marriages that are, like, multiple men, multiple women, a bunch of women and a man, a bunch of men and a woman, multiple... the whole mix. It doesn't really matter. Why would your specific concern be about this one kind of pairing when this social movement would produce all sorts of different kinds of, I even say pairing when it isn't, because pair would be two, but groupings of people in these relationships? I don't care. It's not my job to police what other consenting adults do with their relationships. If people want to be in a relationship with multiple people, and they all agree to it and understand their own boundaries, that's fine. It's none of my goddamn business. Why would I care? Why would I care to impose what I want onto other people? I'm not interested in polyamory, but other people are. I don't care. It's fine. Do what makes you happy as long as you aren't hurting other people.
That seem outlandish. A man having multiple wives, that seems like a male fantasy, the ultimate expression of the patriarchy. Why would women, under the banner of feminism, ever push for such an arrangement to become normal? If that seems unbelievable to you, just take a step back and consider how much feminism has changed in the last 50 years. If you took a feminist from the 1960s and you put her in a time-traveling machine to the modern day and you showed her what currently passes as feminism, she wouldn't believe it. I've got her in my...
Okay, and if I went back in time to the 1800s or the 1900s or any period in history and brought someone back or forward in time from there, they would have a huge variety of opinions on different social issues. But I don't care what their opinions on social issues are. They're dead. They're not the people who live in society today. We are. We get to determine how our society functions, and that's always been the place of people who live in their own societies, which we all do. We all live in whatever society we occupy. I live in America, right? Where we have our own, like, political culture, our own social culture, and these things are dictated by living people, not dead people. I don't think to myself every day, boy, how would someone 100 years ago think about me? It's an interesting thought experiment, sure, but it's not like something I care about. It's interesting to think about, but they're dead. They're dead. It's fine. It would be like if I went, let's say I went to the future somehow. Someone pulled me from the future, or pulled me from here into the future. And it's like 300 years in the future, and there's some sort of social change that I don't understand. I wouldn't be like, you're all degenerate pieces of shit. I'd be like, oh, man, I am a person out of time. Good luck with whatever you got going on, again, provided it has to do with, like, consenting adults. I don't understand this idea that there's some absolute morality that every civilization has to stick to exactly in regard to how people get together for marriage or whatever, and if you don't do that, then you're bad and need to change things. It's just weird.
Time machine. I take her to the current day and I show her interviews of pop stars who are dancing around on stage and in music videos dressed in barely anything, mimicking sex moves, and I tell her that these women are feminist icons doing it for female empowerment. Then I show her how women dress on a night out. I take her to nightclubs and she sees all the women in...
Are you telling me that fashion changes over time? Ridiculous. We all know that people have worn the same clothes for most of human history. Idiot.
Mini skirts and tight dresses and low-cut tops. and I tell her that any suggestion that these women should dress more modestly would now be considered chauvinistic. I show her Instagram and OnlyFans and tell her that there are women, even some of them teenagers, who are taking off their clothes for strangers on the internet and saying that they have never felt more empowered. The feminist from the 1960s would think that I'm playing some kind of practical joke on her. She's like, I'm not going to buy this. There's no way that this is real. This is a male fantasy world. You know, these women have reduced themselves to...
Not really. These women have agency and have decided to wear these clothes of their own free will because they think they look nice or whatever. And that's better than being forced what to do by people who aren't you and not having agency. Are you also going to bring up to this woman from the past, like, oh, and these women can all choose what to do with their lives. They can have whatever careers they want. They can go out and get married if they want. They can go not get married if they want. Whatever. It's up to them. I think that would probably be a pretty big bonus.
to the level of sex objects just to appease the male gaze. No, I'm not buying it. There's no way that this could be considered female empowerment. And yet, this is what has happened. And as jarring as it may be to that original 1960s feminist who wanted women to enter the workplace and to have a life completely separate to men, you know, an existence that was meaningful and not defined by her relationship to men, this is what has happened. And what's more,
why do you assume that people's fashion choices that you disagree with are somehow being beholden to men? If they were being beholden to men, wouldn't they dress in a way that you liked and not a way that you are saying is bad? People just like the clothes they like. That doesn't mean they're beholden to whoever you think they're being beholden to because of the choice they make in the clothes they're wearing.
More, I'd say it is entirely predictable, even inevitable. Feminism was always going to become a movement that fought for female freedom. You know, a woman's right to choose whatever life she wants. Whether you're a female CEO or a mother of 3 or an escort, feminism has your back, because in feminism, the merits of your choice isn't as important as the fact that as a woman, you have a choice. And
I think that's pretty much the ideal in any, like, liberal society, right? The idea that we should be able to make our own choices, and not every choice is going to have the same outcome for everyone, and not every choice is going to have a positive outcome for everyone. But the point is, you have the ability to go out and do these things. You have the ability to go and choose, I want to go be a stay-at-home mom, or I want to go and work towards being a career person, whatever. And again, this is, we're talking about operating within like a capitalist structure that we have to deal with the issues that we deal with these days and all that stuff too. But I'm just saying, generally speaking, the idea that you can go out and make your own decisions, even if those decisions might not be ideal for you, it doesn't matter because it's your choice and you get to go do that. That's fine.
And so, when all choices for women are equally valid under the guise of feminism, it's not a surprise what happens. It shouldn't shock anybody that human beings are pretty lazy and we are inclined to take shortcuts if they're available to us. This is a truth about humanity. Women are no exception to this. And even the original feminists shouldn't be surprised that some women just aren't interested in climbing the corporate ladder. They don't want to put in that amount of work.
I'm sure there are many men who don't either.
Having a successful career requires years of effort and study and hard work. And so what happens if you destigmatize the easier options, like taking your clothes off for strangers on the internet, or marrying some rich older man and living off his...
Taking pictures of yourself for the internet on something like an OnlyFans is a job. That takes work. Like, what? It's fine. If they're able to make money for themselves through a website like that and they're comfortable with that, more power to them. Why are you acting like that's a bad thing?
His wealth, it shouldn't be a surprise that lots of women will take those options. So,
and if they want to, they can? That's their business.
Perhaps being
literally and figuratively
a trophy wife isn't as impressive as being a CEO. You don't have that respect, you don't have that status, but you do have access to a lot of wealth, and it came about a lot easier. If you feel tempted to criticize a woman's choice for being a prostitute or being a gold digger, be careful. Remember that this is a woman's choice, and feminism is about respecting a woman's choice. You don't want to be anti-feminist, do you?
Feminism would be about, broadly speaking, yes, allowing people who are women to have the agency to make their own decisions. That doesn't mean you have to like the decisions every woman makes in every scenario, but the point is you don't get to dictate it. That's the point.
Now, I fundamentally disagree with Alex on several different areas. One, the fact that he believes that this is something feminists will allow in the future, when just currently, that's just already the environment of which we live in. Don't worry, I'll defend my conclusion. Number two, just the fact that feminists could be so absurdly stupid, there isn't really even a word of which I could use to properly articulate the degree of lacking in intelligence or self-awareness to ever in life encourage or allow women, as a feminist, to attach your life to one male and allow him to take care of you while he takes care of another woman. Like the literal embodiment of said patriarchy that they despise. I've insulted feminists before, but that's gotta be hands down the greatest.
Does he think patriarchy means literally any time there's like a man and a woman together? That's not what that means. Having a polyamorous relationship where there's like one man and multiple women isn't automatically a patriarchy. It often is historically, because that often has come up in religions like Mormonism or whatever, but that doesn't necessitate that.
Insult to the intelligence of feminism as a movement ever. Ever. Just that, it would just fold in on itself and just become its own antithesis, right? I'm just, I think these women are delusional and insane, but I'm not sure I can even create a word of which to correctly articulate just how absurd that idea is, that any feminist ever would defend polygamy with the idea that it's just a woman's choice. And it's
I'm sure I could go find an article right now about feminists like arguing that polyamory is fine. I don't know. Here's someone saying polyamory as a feminist act. So there's immediately a thing. Polyamory in the sexual revolution of women. This is a discussion that's already being had. So what are you talking about?
It's okay for her to do it. You want to know how I know they'd never do that? Because there are women currently right now, like Abigail Shapiro and the girls at Girl Defined, who just say maybe you should get married and be with one person, and they get roasted.
That is not why they get roasted. They get roasted by being religious people who are pushing their sort of trad wife shit onto everyone and telling everyone this is the only way to live. It's not because they're telling people, hey, it's a good idea to get married to one person and have it be a man and then whatever. It's because on top of that, they say, you need to be subservient to this man. You need to do whatever this man wants. You are basically a dependent of him, and he is in charge of you. And that's not okay. On top of a bunch of other, trad wife stuff that they push, like abstinence before marriage, up to and including, kissing. Just really, really weird religious fundamentalist stuff. That's why Girl Defined gets criticized, and to a lesser extent, Abby Shapiro. Also, people just find Abby annoying. So...
they get lambasted from hell and back. Just for saying you should be with one person and have children with them. That's where we live right now. No.
You shouldn't be dictating to other people if they should have kids or not. That's part of the problem, too. If someone wants to have kids, great. If they don't, cool. If they want to get married, awesome. If they don't, radical. Whatever, it's fine. Stop trying to tell other people what to do with their lives. Goddamn.
No, never. No feminist ever in the history of life will ever say that it's okay for 2 to 3 women to marry one man and allow him to take care of her, and that's just her choice and her decision.
Why do you assume it's a situation where they're being taken care of? They could all be working. You could have a polyamorous relationship with one man and 2 or 3 women, and they could all work. Some of them could work, some of them could not, and stay home and take care of the house. That's going to depend on the individuals in those relationships. Why are you automatically assuming this would be a situation where it's one guy taking care of a bunch of women?
They won't even let a woman marry one man. They don't even let one woman marry one man and then just accept that as an okay.
And as we all know, there are no married feminists? Is that this guy's claim, really?
Acceptable relationship of which to have. God forbid they would ever defend that. That's inane. That is just beyond inane. But the thing that's more important to me, beyond just the greatest insult to feminism I've ever heard. I've insulted feminists, but god damn, that's just fucking dumb. It's the fact that Alex doesn't seem to recognize we kind of are already in such environment. Now, the environment isn't one of like official marriages, like officially the law being one of one male will have lots of wives, right? However, in terms of like secrecy, on the down low, unofficially, we're already in that environment. We're already in an environment where women already are funneling up to lots of different dudes. And if women aren't funneling up to lots of different dudes, then they're using lots of different dudes to basically pay their way through life by being an internet prostitute.
Oh my god. So you're either, you heard this first, women out there, either we are secretly using men to literally fund our lives by sleeping with them, or we're having an OnlyFans and having people fund our lives via that. There are no other alternatives. There are no single women who work day jobs. There are no single women who are successful. There are no single women who are just in loving relationships with partners that they share the workload with. It's all this. I can't believe he put this video up and didn't realize how stupid it made him sound.
Let's just be real. If you're directly being funded by lots of different men, there ain't no other way of which to put it. Your whole life. I mean, it's just a curse. It's just a curse of man right there.
I'll have you know, my bits messages come from men, women, NBs, and everyone else, okay? I'm an equal opportunity internet personality. That's true. Also eat hot chip and lie. True.
I don't even know what else to tell you, fam. I don't even know what to say on that one, right? Which, actually, you know what? Maybe I need to make another video and kind of, like, really delve deep into that topic, but we'll save that for another time. But there was this one girl that I knew, that I met some time ago, who was a sugar baby to a dude that had a whole wife and kids, right? So, if we want to go with that, technically they're not officially married, but we have one male, and then we have a woman, and then his wife, and then we have his side piece here.
Yeah, that's a guy cheating on his wife, which isn't cool.
We're already in that environment. It's just not married. I mean, maybe it's not socially acceptable, as if it really matters to individuals of whom have no integrity. like that means a damn thing to people.
Remember that time he made a video that wound up in the Chud Watch Hall of Shame? Where did it go? Yeah. Remember, it's funny that he's talking about integrity when he's one of the 2 videos in the Chud Watch Hall of Shame, and it was because he was saying that if you're a woman and someone breaks into your house and murders you, then that's your own fault. He beat you in combat, as he put it, and he said that's fine. But all of a sudden, he cares about integrity. What a joke. Jesus Christ.
The only thing that it means is that people will be mean to them and hurt their feelings, but as...
I forgot to save the Tate Chudwatch video where he beats up Spider-Man. No, I think that's in the Hall of Fame. That was the Hall of Shame. Yeah, that's in the Hall of Fame. Tate beats up Spider-Man.
As far as actually being morally of righteous pretty people, it means fuck all. Like really, it does. It does. The whole socially acceptable thing. I've seen lots of different women be okay with being sugar babies and just being taken care of by married men. We're already here. The future is now. Now, do we need feminism for that? I mean, feminism's already paved the way for. We don't need more feminism of which to defend women's honor, defend their choice to do this shit.
Their choice? I don't know why you're doing this. It's literally you're telling people that women shouldn't have the choice to do what they want with their life. And by the way, this applies to men too. This is about everyone having the choice of how to live their life in a way that makes them maximally happy. And that's great.
I mean, if you're morally reprehensible, what difference does it make? Like, you don't need an ideological, maybe to help you sleep at night, perhaps, maybe for your own delusion, maybe for your own cognitive dissonance. But the long and short of it is, women are already funneling up to mostly dudes. And so here's the thing: if it's not just that whole sugar baby capacity,
hold on? What percentage of people in their 40s are single? Just curious. Let me see. Partnered adults are those who are married, living with a partner in a committed romantic relationship. Single adults are those who are not married, living with a partner or in a committed romantic relationship. Looking refers to singles who say they are currently looking for a committed romantic relationship only, casual dates only, or either. Not looking refers to, so is this in general? Nearly half of U.S. adults, so I think this is about the general population over 18, which says 69% of people are partnered, 31% are single, and it's 50-50 on the single part, whether or not they're actively looking for a partner. So even according to this, and let me see if I can break it down, who are single, ages. So between 30 and 49, only 23% of people are single. And then that goes up a little bit in 50 to 64 at 28%, probably because of divorces. And at 65 plus, it goes up probably because of partners passing away. So the vast majority of people have partners. And there's nothing wrong with not having a partner. Let me be clear about that. You don't have to be in a relationship to be fulfilled. You can absolutely just be on your own and be happy. But what I am saying is his entire worldview is sort of cemented upon the idea that the foundational relationship aspect of our day-to-day lives has somehow been destroyed by feminism and that no one is in relationships anymore. But most people are in relationships. I'm in a fucking relationship. Do you know me? Like, come on, guys. The system isn't broken. Like, this guy's just an a-hole who can't find anyone because he treats women like shit. It's not that hard.
We still just have women, by and large, just getting passed around by the same dudes. And then this is actually, interestingly enough, a phenomenon that I had no...
By the same merit, couldn't you just say that those same men are being passed around by those women then? Why are you putting it in that specific perspective? If all of these women are also going around and sleeping with these specific men that you are purporting to exist, then those men are also being passed around too. You understand that, right? I don't know if he understands that.
Noticed way back in high school, right? Like, which was interesting, because I remember I was thinking about it quite critically back in the day, how I just noticed that the girls were all just bouncing between the same dudes, right? The same small pool of guys, right? It's just
they were probably friend groups. In high school, that'll happen. You'll get groups of friends, and yes, there is sort of a hierarchy in high schools and stuff of like popular people or different cliques or whatever, and people tend to sleep around sort of within their own social circle in high school. That's not uncommon.
I couldn't really. I was actually. I coined the 80-20 rule by myself. Like, I'm not saying that...
I'm pretty sure you didn't come up with that. But okay.
I'm the person... I'm not saying I'm the progenitor of it. I'm not. But what I'm saying is, it's a phenomenon I recognized alone. I didn't need any red pill advice or any MGTOW to tell me. It was just something that over time I picked up on, that it just seems that women are just going for the same dudes. And I've also have clarified that it seems a lot of women's perspective on men is clouded in the fact that they're all just being bounced around by the same dudes. And I mean that, like, quite literally, like the women, they're quite literally having sex with the same type of dudes. They are all funneling up to the same caliber of men. It's not even a joke. So again, if we're talking about polygamy, is it like official? Is it an official, I'm married, I have all these women? No. In practice, it is still one dude having lots of sex with lots of different women. Now, in a biblical sense of which you would speak, having sexual intercourse would represent some kind of marriage. That is how you consummate a marriage. So I guess if you want to stretch, and I mean like be like really, really stretch this one out.
You consummate marriages, biblical marriages, but that doesn't mean any time people sleep together, it's an automatic consummation that means that they're married. That's not what that means.
Now, you could say, we're being polygamous. One dude is having sex with multiple different women.
That's not what that word means. That's not what that word means at all.
I mean, is it really like in practice? No, but that's just if you want to really stretch it thin. I just wanted to add that in the video. The long and short of it is, that's just the environment that we're already currently in. And the environment we're already currently in is one of which women are just bouncing back and forth between the same douchebaggy guys that honestly just downright don't really.
Why do you assume they're douchebags? Is it just because they're people that are getting, women and you can't? I'm just really asking here, why do you assume they're douchebags? Like, there are certainly douchebags out there, but like, why are you assuming everyone who is having an active sex life is a douche? That's such a weird assumption to make. It's such a nice guy mentality thing, right? It's that idea that, oh, I'm such a nice guy, and therefore women must only like douchebags because I'm so nice. Again, bear in mind, this is the same guy that was, like, completely defending stalkers and murderers in a previous video because women failed to defend themselves in combat. Like we're playing a video game or in Game of Thrones. It's so stupid. This guy is not nice. He's evil.
I like them apart from the fact that they have a WAP. We're already here, Alex. Which is why I find it particularly interesting that he would even need to create the theory.
That's true. He did defend that.
Or hypothesis of how feminists would allow this to transpire when the sexual revolution has already allowed it. And of course it's reasonable. When I say reasonable, logically of which I can deduce why this be a thing. And it all just kind of comes back to the same principles I have defined in earlier videos thus far, right? But maybe let me just sprinkle in a little bit of salt and pepper, right? So here's the thing. In an environment of which women believe, I mean, they're wrong.
But... Wait, hold on. I gotta find a specific brand of cake mix real quick. My birthday's coming up, and Baja's asking me. No, I don't think it's that one. What's the other brand? What's the other cake brand? I'm sorry people who are watching this later. Not Duncan Hines. Betty Crocker? Might be. Yes, Betty Crocker. The one I like is the Betty Crocker chocolate fudge, or one of the... I think it is, at least. I'm pretty sure it's the Betty... Well, they look so similar. I'm sorry, people watching this on YouTube later. This is important shit. I take my cake seriously. It might be the Duncan Hines cake mix and Betty Crocker frosting, but we're going to do different frosting and stuff anyway, because vegan, but... I think it was a Duncan Hines chocolate cake. I don't remember which one. Devil's Food. I think it was Devil's Food cake from Duncan Hines. I don't know if that's vegan or not. If so, of course, we can, use vegan ingredients, so you can also have it, of course. And we can just get some chocolate frosting, whatever. Like, the chocolate frosting that was on your cake last time was good, so. Duncan Hines chocolate fudge cake is vegan. Rad. Perfect. Okay, that's the end of looking at cakes. Sorry.
They believe that they don't need men of which to take care of them or provide for them because they can have their own job and their own money. The only thing that's left is not the utility of a male as one of a protector and a provider, but one of only its emotional value to women.
Good! Why would you want to be seen as utilitarian in nature? Don't you want a partner who loves you and cares about you for who you are as a person and not whether or not you can, like, buy them things? Why would you want to be used like that? That sounds awful.
So women, at least younger women, desire one thing above all. And that one thing above all, I don't care what anyone tells you. If anyone tells you anything different, they're wrong. The one thing above all that young women desire is to feel special. They don't need lots of money. They really don't. Hypergamy is an interesting, funny thing. Because it all comes down to that one thing. They just want to feel special.
I think you could apply that to literally every human being. Everyone wants to feel wanted and special in some way, shape, or form. That is not unique to women.
They just want validation. And the best way to make them feel special is to conquer the mindset or obtain a male of which all other women want. That will make them special. I mean, it would. If this one guy who has a track record of running through women stops and only is with her, there has to be some value to her, that she has to be special in some capacity. I mean, logically, it makes perfect sense. Of course, the folly in that mindset is that they're not. But that's what they're going after. That's what they desire. That's what they want. Like their core. At the end of the day, I would argue that all women, at least when they're young, want to feel special. At least all women in my age bracket.
Everyone wants to feel special in one way, shape, or another. It's fine. That's fine.
Want to feel special. They want to be elevated above other women. They want to feel like...
Okay, it doesn't have to be a superiority thing. You can feel special and valid and loved without it being a I'm better than you sort of thing.
They're different from other women. They want to feel like they have value, right? Now, the best way of which to...
Everyone wants to feel like they have value.
To obtain such a thing, or to look as if you're special, you have value, is if you're able to conquer the top individual males that are around you. So males are which the currency of which women measure what their value is relative to other women. It is their power level. It is their scanner. It is their scouter. That's what they're doing. So the reason why we have a dating market that is so funneled up to the top is because women are just trying to satisfy their one own desire, and that is to feel special. And you can't really be or feel special if you're just with some regular Joe Schmo dude who's an accountant.
Most people are with average people, because most people are average. That's how that works. That's how that works!
Doesn't reflect any value upon you as a lady. It would certainly...
Yeah, I don't know if he's ever interacted with a woman. He talks about women like there's some, like, foreign invasive species that we're just learning about. Yeah, he doesn't talk about women like human beings.
They reflect your wisdom and your intelligence to pool the resources of one person consistently rather than fight with other women to get the sprinkles of another dude. But
also, Baja asks, chocolate or ice cream cake better? Chocolate. I'm not a big fan of ice cream cake. I like the ice cream separate.
I'm not here to say women are intelligent. I'm just saying that they are ruled by their passions and their desire, and their desire is...
That's my least favorite, like, MGTOW trope bullshit ideas, that women are just so emotional. Men are logical beings. No. Men are not. I'm sorry. Guys, no, you're not. Apparently men don't seem to think that anger is an emotion. What's up with that? Like, men get angry fucking constantly. I'm sorry, I'm painting people with a very broad brush. But, like, whenever I hear someone like this say, like, women are so emotional, like, oh, I'm sorry that you don't like that a particular woman got sad at a thing once that you're thinking of. Have you met men? Have you met any men? Jesus Christ.
They want to be special. Logically, I get it. Of course, it works to their folly, because I'm gonna be honest with you, they're kind of dumb. Like if they're not dumb, then they're foolish. They're not wise. But the long and short of it is, that's why we have fostered an environment of which this be the case. Now, relationships have transformed themselves not into one that has any degree of like function beyond just validation. A lot of relationships are just validation machines. They just exist to be around someone to make you feel good about you. Like when someone says like they love you, it just means that you make me feel good about myself. When they fall out of love with you, it means you stopped making me feel good about myself. Because love to them is a very selfish emotion that just means I really, really, really like you. It's not not something of merit, of honor, of commitment. It's not anything of those higher truths in the world. It just means you make me feel good about myself.
Has he ever talked to anyone about their feelings on love ever? Men or women or NB, whatever. What?
You stop making me feel good about myself? Well, now I'm done. That's a lot of courtshipping between males and females is one of that. Which, I mean, even I've been guilty of. We've all been guilty of it because that's what we've been trained to do. Blow smoke up a woman's ass while she's in your presence, and then over time she'll like you and then she'll want to date you. That's what we've been trained to do. That's what it is. We've created a validation machine rather than we've created relationships that are supposed to be designed with some degree of functionality between them or some goal or some point or some purpose to them.
So you think you should be able to tell your partner that you don't like their decisions and F them, and then when they tell you I'm an adult who can make my own decisions and they break up with you, that's society's fault for not letting you dictate what your girlfriend does? What a baby.
That's how we can have these it might be the best word to use, pseudo-polygamous relationships. Because again, if individuals were crafting relationships of which one for functionality is, and it works well, you guys work well together, and you're trying to have a family, i.e. make children, you probably would not want to divide your resources between multiple families, or you probably wouldn't want to try to take care of multiple women. Probably not. Not unless you already had the resources to do so, and thus the polygamy thing would only be able to be applicable to individuals that are already high earners, or already, again, top percentage earners of males. It's not something that typical men would be able to do, and I'm not really even sure if it's something men would want to do in reality. Like, maybe you might have a fantasy, you might read a light novel or manga about it, but I'm going to be honest with you, like, dealing with multiple women.
I appreciate that one of his main frames of reference for this is manga. This is starting to make a lot more sense.
I have a headache dealing with one woman. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I can't imagine that someone would willingly want to deal with numerous women. Godspeed to that person. I don't know. I guess he keeps.
Does he even like women? Does he even like women? Just seems like whenever he talks about actually interacting with women in an interpersonal way, he seems to hate women. So why does he even want to be with a woman? Just go be alone, or go date a guy if that's what you're into. But if you hate women this much, just leave it alone. Go find something better to do than to talk about women constantly.
Keeps his pimp hand strong, because goddamn, some women are just...
Wow! That's a reference to beating your spouse.
I'm having flashbacks. I'm sorry. I'm gonna wrap the video up. Point is, one, feminists will never ever advocate for polygamy.
I already earlier in this video showed that there were articles already written where people who talk about like feminist theory are advocating for polyamory as a feminist act, and that's fine. Like, there's not one unilateral school of feminism. There are tons of different branches of feminism, and different groups are going to think different things about different topics.
Ever. Feminists might be stupid, okay? But they're not so undefined word used to describe their sheer stupidity of this idea or hypothesis there, okay? They're not that, alright? They might be delusional, but they're not that damn delusional. They would never do that. How do I know? They don't even accept when people just marry in a regular traditional marriage and just support that idea of they're not even okay with that. So no, they never allow that shit. But number two, they don't need to, because we're already here. The future is now. We're already in an environment of which multiple dudes or one dude is passing around the same girl, or girls are being passed around by the same top amount of dudes. This is we're already here.
Bass. I get laid. If I can get laid, Bass, anyone can get laid. Just stop being an asshole. Stop treating women like fucking objects. Unless they're into that. With consent. But you know what I mean.
We're already in an environment where dudes will be married and then they'll have sugar babies and have sex with them, right? And just basically have little mini prostitutes or side pieces there. We're already here. We're already in that environment. We don't need feminism of which to try to remove the stigma or anything like that, because any person who's already if you're already messing with a married man, you have no honor. You have no compassion, and you have no integrity. You don't need society to approve of it, because you have said be damned to having standards for yourself. Fuck, you need society to come pat you on the back for it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's irrelevant. Point is, in conclusion, my friends, we're already here. We're already here. Is it wrong? Is it right? I don't know. But we're already here. So that being said, if you guys got something out of today's video, you probably didn't, but if you did, man, you know, go and click the like button. Yeah, shoot, go and click that. Subscribe. Comment in the comments below. As always, you guys have yourselves a great day. I'll see you cool cats soon. Adios.
You know, that was terrible, and it's still cringe because it's one of Bass's videos. But it hurt me physically less than some of his previous work, I'll be honest with you. So that's good. So that's him for the day. Moving on. Bits messages. Bumble Hodenstead, thank you for resubscribing with the 10 months. No, I already read that one. Nick says, we live in a society, not those old bastards that died centuries ago. Draft a 1310, thanks for following. Crispy VDL, thank you for resubscribing with 2 months. Hey Hannah, so glad I found you and Jake on YouTube so I could join your amazing communities. Well, thank you for being a part of it. This community is brought to you by viewers like you. Sushi Mom, thank you for resubscribing with a 10-month streak, says, just wanted to tell you, Hannah, in chat, that you're all very much loved. Thank you. I can't believe I'm almost a year on Twitch. It's been like 10 months. Crazy stuff. The Kester, thank you for following. Fresno12, thank you for resubscribing. HHYSSOP, thank you for gifting a sub. Barlock Moses says, you don't know the word because you're not smart. Cupcake Chaos, thank you for resubscribing with 10 months. Says Gregory #1 is doing well. Colossus TV with 20 bits. There's no single women. There's no single women. Oh. I don't understand what that's a reference to. Barlock Moses with 50 bits, I'm sorry. He's not happy, so why should other people be happy? And biblical marriage is when you buy your wife, so stop talking about biblical marriage. Marcus Drake says, I hope you don't mind this since they're amazing, but, quote, Squid is in dire need of roof repair. Please help by donating. And then there's a link to Squid's thing. You want to post that link again in the chat? And I'll bring attention to it to help Squid out. Nick says, I watched that VOD of Bass defending someone on the Super Bowl Sunday whilst making nachos. I'm forever going to associate maps with nachos now. Yeah, there's a link in the chat to helping Squid out with some roof repairs, apparently. Please go throw a couple bucks their way. They provide really great entertainment and are a part of this community. And we want to help out where we can. Ghetto Kanye with 20 bits. Hi, Hannah. My power went out because someone hit a power line down the road, but now it's back and we're warm again. Anyway, do you know Helen Keller used to say racist things? I just learned that today. I didn't know that. Puka the Duca, thank you for resubscribing. Says, appreciate all you do. Thank you. Bardlock Moses says, I know it's not nice to joke about looks, but I don't talk about people's looks. Nick says, if MGTOWs were actually logical, they would never speak about women and would actually go their own way. Pyromancer says, sometimes I think the internet was a mistake. Only sometimes. You gotta pump those numbers up. Colossus TV, oh, he just had a fight with his girlfriend and that's why he's sitting on the floor. Bardlock Moses, they really should take the M out of MGTOW because these are boys, not men. Numanogs with 100 bits says, I want my bits back. That was tough going. And Karosh72, thanks for following. We did it. Bits messages. Let's do a quick something or other and then we'll move on to Terrence. Only 30 seconds. I want longer than that.
What is my Hebrew name? Without it, I just don't feel the same. Learning Torah all the time with a name like P
or Bill Sebastian.
What is my Hebrew name? What is my Hebrew name? Without it, I just don't feel the same. Praying to Hashem each day with a name like Bill,
Matt, Chastel.
What is my Hebrew name? Well, it might not seem to make a difference. A guy's a guy, you'd say. But a Jew just can't feel fully Jewish unless he's got a Hebrew name.
What is this about?
What is my Hebrew name?
Without it, he just don't feel the same.
Oh, is this like Salty, but for like kids who are Jewish?
Tits all the day with a name like Joe,
Frank, Horatio.
What is my name? See Mayor.
Oh God, I can't do more of that. What's this?
Walk along and we sing a song of Shavuot long ago. Shavuot time comes once a year, on the day that God appears. That piece has an interesting history. The Ten Commandments, and I don't mean the version with Yul Brynner and Charlton Heston.
Charlton Heston got to be in all those long movies.
It was long.
Just think, when he get Alzheimer's, he's got a little Alzheimer's, Charlton Heston's going to start thinking he's Moses. He's going to go back into time.
That's right.
That's me.
Good.
Because I'm the moderate, the centrist Democrat, and that's the kind of Democrat that wins.
Good.
You can't go either way too far.
Well, first let me kind of step back and talk about intelligence in general, if I might.
If a relaxing moment turns into the right moment, will you be ready? Introducing Cialis, the first tablet for erectile dysfunction that gives you up to 36 hours.
It's all wood, thick and sturdy. Look at the chairs. How does Bob do it? Who cares?
My computer.
And I think you should start to wear socks, and I don't mean on your feet.
I'm Jim Sokoloff. Call me at 1-800-CALL-JIM. When doctors make mistakes, I make them pay. 1-800-CALL-JIM.
Some of the world's new sources of energy are close at hand, but until recently, unreachable.
He told me that he had a surprise for me at the camper. I was drinking.
Oh, my.
Love him or hate him.
Get a boost from your Pop, Pop, Pop. Lay that schach on the top, top, top.
This country's run by people. Where are the people? Where are the people that they're that blind?
They're waiting
that...
in the unemployment line.
Hey, we're going. Hey, give my love to Rose.
Nice meeting you, Rose.
Newsmax doing a hit piece on Joe Biden's ancient German Shepherd. They did a hit piece on a dog? Why? Jesus Christ. Okay. They said it looked beaten up and unpresidential. Jesus Christ. It's a dog. It's a dog! Okay. It's time to dive back into the delusional world of Terrence Popp, who has another video on preparing for the Civil War, air quotes. Again, this guy's been just putting out videos, trying to train people to fight people on the left violently, and no one's done anything about it, so that's great. Thanks, YouTube. Let's take a look.
As it stands now, we are basically 72 hours away of an actual mayhem and zombie apocalypse breaking out.
What?
If it happens, I hope it doesn't, you're not going to be able to call the cops for help. You're not going to be able to call the fire department or an ambulance or any of those public services, because those individuals will be taking care of their families and trying to do the exact same thing. All right, everybody, Terrence Popp here with another episode of Live from the Lair. And today we're going to be going over a subject which may or may not be very useful to certain individuals moving into the future. All right, now, for those, if you're just tuning into this show, I'm a former Green Beret, Airborne Ranger, paratrooper. I got all kinds of time in the military. And I have taught this particular class that I'm going to go over here probably 100 times. Okay, now I can't go into everything here because it's very time consuming.
That's interesting, because in a previous video he said he was part of the Michigan National Guard. And I'm sure you could probably do both in your career. I just find that interesting.
Just going to go over basically a bird's eye view, and then I'll go into further, I'll break it down.
That's a good point. If he did work for the military, and this is a class that he would train people for in the military, is he allowed to, like, share this with people?
Down, you know, into more detail moving forward. Now, this is called escape and evasion. Moving forward, there's very high possibility we here in the United States are going to experience a severe amount of turmoil. Dare I say, it might actually be very similar to what's going down in Venezuela, with the hyperinflation, the food shortages, just the absolute craziness. If that were to take place, the most dangerous place you could be is in a city, okay, in a built-up urban environment. You don't want to be there because you have a lot of people in one area. They're going to go through food and water real quick. You know, they're not going to be able to heat their homes. The grid might go down. As it stands now, we are basically 72 hours away of an actual mayhem and zombie apocalypse breaking out.
Do you think he's gonna take this video down in the next 3 days? Because he posted this today, and this obviously isn't gonna happen. So is he gonna take this down after 3 days, or is he just gonna leave it up as an embarrassing monument to his incompetency, or what?
If it happens, I hope it doesn't, you're not going to be able to call the cops for help. You're not going to be able to call the fire department or an ambulance or any of those public services, because those individuals will be taking care of their families and trying to do the exact same thing. So let me get this straight. I gotta spend 2.5 years on books and tuition to take useless bullshit just to get at my core classes? Space Ghost is on, you can suck my dick. You got any ungrateful relatives? Well, me too. So buy them something worthless. Get them this book. At the end of the day, they will thank you for getting them something that's priceless. Good advice. So click on the link in the description and learn for yourself why college is a complete waste of time.
God. Worthless. The young person's indispensable guide to choosing the right major. Worthless is the single most important book young men and women can read before they attend college. While teachers, guidance counselors, and even parents are afraid to tell you the truth in an effort to spare your feelings, Worthless delivers a blunt and real-world assessment about the economic realities and consequences of choosing various degrees with a necessary and tough fatherly love. Don't lie to yourself, and certainly don't waste 4 years of your youth and thousands of dollars in tuition on a worthless degree. Buy this book and understand why it's important you choose the right major. The book itself could be the wisest investment you ever make. Now, there are certainly people who've spent a lot of money on degrees that they didn't end up using or whatever, but I'm guessing that's not what this book actually is. It's probably not actually informing you. Like, look at the symbol on this. It's a peace sign, a communist USSR sickle hammer, and one of those fists. Oh no. What's the Chapter 1, Lucky You. Chapter 2, Basic Economics. Chapter 3, What to Study. Chapter 4, What Not to Study. Chapter 5, Grad School Blues and Litmus Tests. Oh, God. Oh, look at the font size. I always find the stuff that he advertises on this show to be interesting.
And money. Now, typically, when you set up a escape and evasion corridor, you do it in an enemy country or a country that you're operating in, and you set up your left and right limits and, you know, where you're going to go, and then you brief your whole team on exactly, you know, what that plan is in case some people get captured, killed, or get injured or wounded to the point that they can't move anymore. Everyone knows what the fuck they're doing. All right, now the way you do that is called area study. When you do an area study, you're looking for a lot of things that will assist you in getting out of Dodge. You know, rapid avenues of approach or egress, number 1. Number 2, water sources. You can't really go more than a day, maybe 3 days without water. You can do...
I think you're probably going to have a hard time finding clean or at least water that you could boil in a lot of places in the US. Unless you're already, like, very aware of the terrain and where the natural bodies of water are.
10 days, maybe more, depending on how fat you are without food. We Americans are painfully, shockingly fat, so that's not a real big problem. You're not going to be able to move 24/7, so you're going to have to basically do a map recon at first of areas that you can conceal yourself in and hide until you can move forward. So you can hide and conceal yourself until you can move again, which usually it's best to move at hours of limited visibility, which is night. Okay, if it's the middle of winter and you're in America, the nights can get pretty cold, so you're gonna have to make a decision if you know, it's worth staying in place or moving.
He has such a weird conception of what he thinks would happen if there was some sort of societal collapse. I can't tell you I'd know exactly what the world would look like, But I do know it's not gonna be this shit. And if it were this shit, it would be this shit for like a week. And then people would start forming communities again. Human beings survive because we're a social species. Social species survive by forming communities. You're not gonna survive by being some lone wolf asshole prepper in the woods with your family, with your guns and MRAs. MREs. And waiting for, I don't even know what to happen. The people who are going to survive stuff like this are people who are going to be able to work together in order to create new communities out of the rubble of society. You're not gonna survive by being a douchebag militia member in the woods.
You know, that, and this is basically when you do the area study, you're doing it assuming you will receive no help, you don't have a network in place, nothing. It's this is the last ditch effort to get the fuck out of Dodge. All right, just so you have that, you know, under your belt. Okay, now, everyone needs the following: water, food, shelter, and the ability to hide. Okay, those are things you're going to have to look for when you do your area study, when you're putting together your E&E corridors. Now, I'm in Michigan. I am on the north side of Detroit, so I have no choice but to go north. Okay, trying to go south through Detroit, through Wayne County, Oakland County is pretty difficult. That is pretty much all built up.
Why are all the people who are just batshit insane in my state? What is there something in the water? I don't know. Other than the lead, I guess. This guy, John Doyle.
And, you know, that's pretty much a no-brainer. If you're north, you need to go. If you're north of a big city, chances are you're going to have to go north. Or at least go north far enough where you can circle back and give yourself enough distance between said big city and, you know, to worm your way down to get south. You know, maybe, you know, situational dictate if you can do that, depending upon how crazy it is. But if the zombie apocalypse is in full swing, it's not really going to work out for you. All right, now, when you're moving, there's really two ways you can do this. Move at night, which gives you concealment. You can also conceal yourself with camouflage. I will cover that in, you know, another class. It's pretty easy to do. You can buy a military camo net on eBay or on the internet from a surplus store. And you can fold it up, keep it in a bag in your car, and if you need to, you can throw it on. And from a distance, if they have thermal, that's a whole other subject. But if they don't have thermal, you know, chances are you can avoid visual detection. Not in a...
What does he think is going to happen? That he thinks he needs to start bringing a goddamn ghillie suit around with him so he can hide from enemy combatants? What exactly does he think is about to happen in 72 hours?
A big city environment, unless you're moving at night and you want to hide among bushes and stuff. But if you're doing that, that is a no bueno. That is last ditch effort. You know, shit can go south real easy. Another one you can do is blend in. All right, now, if you're going to blend in, what are things people usually don't really look at deeply? Homeless people, you know, women, and cripples, people who are injured. So if you have to move an E&E and you're in a urban environment to an urban environment, it's pretty easy to make yourself look like a homeless guy. You can stay to the alleys, what have you, until you can get out of the cities. All right. You can also, you know, wear a disguise. I myself, you know, I write about this in my novels. It can be done.
We still got to read one of his novels someday, guys.
But usually, unless you're an absolute professional at it, you know, when somebody gets close to you, they can see right through it. So you need to weigh your options if you decide to do that. And another thing you can, you know, straight up do is if you're trying to get through an urban environment, is you hide during the day. You need to find a place to lay up where people aren't going to disturb you. and then move only at night. And the best way to do that is act like a homeless person and hide out where homeless people are. Because I'm going to be honest, a lot of people...
Again, but you're talking about societal collapse. Wouldn't that just be most people? What is he talking about? It's like he's talking about, and he probably is, like underground terroristic guerrilla warfare in urban environments. Is what it kind of sounds like he's discussing right now. Is hiding amongst homeless camps and like sneaking around and causing destruction. Like, what could he possibly mean other than that? What the hell?
People do not give them a second or third look. I mean, that's just the truth of the matter. Now we're going to talk about cars and trucks and you know, trading distance for time. If you do a really, like, if say you live in a major city, like let's say Chicago, and you are in one of the suburbs, you get yourself a map and you want to drive out, you can put together a route that doesn't cover, you want to stay off the big intersections or the big interstates and large freeways, the easy choke points. You want to stay to surface roads when and if you can, and it can easily be done. I have driven myself on surface roads from here all the way to Utica, New York. It took a long time, but it can be done. You gotta weigh these things out. Another thing you could do if you have to walk out is a lot of cities have major high tension lines, and usually the power company will run them through an area. And for instance, where I'm at, I can jump on the power lines near me and literally walk north all the way up to, you know, Almont, Michigan for the most part. You know, I do that at night, and then I lay low. I can literally walk my way out of here. Ideally, you know, foot movement in today's environment is not the preferred method, but if that's all you got, it is what it is. So I would suggest, you know, put together a plan where you use a vehicle as much as you can, and then there may come a point, like if you run out of fuel, or if you run out of road, or you're facing a checkpoint, you have to leave the vehicle behind, draw a red line through it, it no longer exists, and you're gonna have to go out on foot. Now, to get ready for this, it would behoove you to get in shape. We're all fat Americans. I know I need to get in shape too. I can easily stand to lose 20 pounds. But in all actuality, you know, if you were to walk 5 to 8 miles 4 times a week, you know, speed walk that, run a little bit, it can't hurt you. And listen, getting physical fitness in the bank is an investment into your future, which will pay dividends down the road. I'm not fat shaming anyone, don't cry about it, but it's the truth. Like I said here, on foot is very possible. Like for instance, say I jump on I-75 heading north, and I weigh the options, and it is actually to my benefit to get as far away as possible, as fast as I can. Okay, and you know, I'm going north. There's a huge pileup, and the cops and the fire, you know, trucks aren't coming, and the longer you stay there, the bigger the target gets on you.
What does that even... What is the hypothetical scenario that he is talking about? What does he think is happening? Does he think he's about to get purged or something? I gotta touch up this lipstick.
To make a command decision, pack up your shit, put it on your back, leave the car in place, or pull it off to the side of the road and just let it sit. All right, your goal here is to survive. You're not here to fight. All right, you just want to ride it out. Okay, 7. Do not, if possible, use violence. All right, now, hypothetically, let's just say you are on a major highway, there's an accident or a checkpoint or some craziness going on. You pull the car off to the side, you get out, and you huff it on foot. To the people running the checkpoint or the people who are, up in the...
Who are these people that you think are running the checkpoint? Again, is this some, like, conspiracy theory stuff where he thinks the government is about to, like, purge Trump supporters or something? Is this that kind of thing? Is that his hypothetical? Because that's the more and more I listen to this, what I think it sounds like.
The chaos that's going on,
That's not going to happen, Terrence. Please get off 4chan and get in touch with reality.
Are the lowest denominator. You're not a big deal, all right? They figure, yeah, you're on foot, they can get you later, which they can. But if you know what you're doing, catching people on foot is very hard, okay? And I'll cover that in a future episode. If you get out and decide you're gonna, shoot it out or you're gonna fight somebody, listen, you're just ramping up somebody's resolve to fuck you up. All right, you don't want that. You don't, like I said, attention is trouble. All right, just get out of there, say, hey, I'm out. Dee Mao. If you're just somebody and you're just doing this and you're just walking out of the area, you're not going to attract a lot of attention. I can't tell how many times I've been in a crowded bar and somebody starts fighting off in the corner and everybody and their mother focuses their attention on the conflict that's going on there. Okay? You don't want that. All right?
That was unintentionally revealing about the places Terrence hangs out in.
And finally, number 3, you can get hurt. Say they break a leg, what are you going to do then? You're stuck. All right? You get, a penetrating wound that touches an internal organ. You're going to need professional medical care to take care of that because your chances of dying go way up. All right? You don't need that either. All right? You can get shot. That definitely needs professional medical care to get treated. That may or may not exist, and if it does, then people are going to ask questions. All right? Again, attention. You don't need that. So stay away from violence. Just Dee Mao out of there. It's much easier to keep a low profile, get out of the area, than it is to think you can fight your way, however long it takes to get where you need to be.
Terrence, what's your end game in this hypothetical doomsday scenario that you've concocted or found on some area of the stupid internet? What do you think is Say what you mean, Terrence, and explain to me what your end game even is in all of this. Because it doesn't make any sense.
Armies do that. You're not an army, you're just a dude. Maybe you have 3 to 5 guys with you. You still can't do that. Logistically speaking, it's virtually impossible. Next board. Number 8. All right, now this is what I'm in the process of putting together right now. Is I'm putting together a prepper group of veterans, guys I served with here in Michigan, because over the past 7 to 8 months, I've literally received...
I worry that I'm going to see Terrence in the news headlines one of these days, like another attempt to kidnap Governor Whitmer, or something along those lines is going to happen, and it's going to turn out it's him and his stupid friends.
Probably somewhere in the neighborhood, somewhere between 50 and 100 calls, text, emails in regards to the craziness that's going on. Because, what happened on the West Coast, that was fairly isolated, but can you imagine how bad that would be if it encompasses virtually every major city in your state and it spills out into the suburbs? What the hell are you going to do? You have the best chance of putting this all together if you put together a network of guys that you trust. All right, that's what I'm in the process of doing. And I'm trying to get them all ham radio licensed so we can all talk to each other on ham radio. Listen, if the grid goes down, you can hook a ham radio up in your car and have power. You can talk on that. If the repeaters are there, you can talk hundreds of miles And like, for instance, I'm in one county, I'm having problems, I need to get the hell out. I call 2 or 3 other dudes in an adjacent county. They can come and help me get to their area, and then we can get the hell out of here and head north. There's safety in numbers, there's strength in numbers. It's not against the law to set up a prepper group. It's not against the law to, defend yourself and, stay alive. Number 9.
Again, Terrence, say what you think this hypothetical threat is. Explain. You brought up the West Coast. What are you talking about? The West Coast is fine.
This is important. If you can, you pre-place caches. Now, in the military, I've gone on cache operations. We jump in there with a bunch of bullshit. We'd put it in the ground. We'd mark it with on the map with a 11-digit grid and a description of stuff that's by it. I'll be covering this in other class in caching, and it'll help you guys figure this out.
Yeah, I thought it was pronounced cache too, like the E is silent. I don't think I've heard it pronounced cache. He claims he was in the military, though, so you'd think he would know? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Let's find out, shall we? Oops. Let's just have a...
Cache. Cache. Cache.
No, okay.
Cache. 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 Cache.
Shouldn't he know that if he was in the military? Just seems kind of odd.
Now, a good place to cache stuff is federal land and state land. Okay, preferably near a major terrain feature, something that you can identify if you do not have a map.
Okay, so he's still talking about federal versus state land, meaning he doesn't think this is a doomsday situation in which the government is going to collapse. He thinks this is a situation in which he will be fighting the government. FBI? This one right here, please. Please go give him a visit and be like, knock, knock, knock. Hey, we're the FBI. Knock it off.
All right. Again, I'll go into more detail. And things you want to have at the cache. Okay, you want to have food, water. You might have to put a weapon in place if you think it's necessary. Additional clothing, maybe some tarps, medical equipment and supplies, and medicines. Like if somebody in your group is a type 2 diabetic, it wouldn't hurt to put in place a 6-month supply of metformin. You can buy that stuff on the internet right now. It'll go right to your house. It does require a prescription, but let's be honest, a lot of people can't afford to go to the doctor now and pay all the doctor visit fees and so forth. It's just cheaper to order on the internet and then ask for forgiveness later.
Wow, Terrence. I guess the medical healthcare system in the United States is pretty fucked up, huh? If only there was a political party in the United States that pushed for reform in medical health care to make it more accessible. It's a good thing those aren't the people that you're teaching people to fight right now, huh?
For the most part, it's a no-brainer. It's like having antibiotics. And that's another thing that will... Like, if you have a cache with 5 or 6 different types of antibiotics, if it gets really bad...
Wouldn't it be funny if Terrence was just a character the FBI made up to try and honeypot crazy militia people? And just off screen, there's a bunch of guys at the FBI taking notes and figuring out things to have him say next. If that were the case, whoever plays Terrence plays a really good drunk.
That shit, it's worth its weight in gold. Because people are going to get cuts. They get infected. Back in the old days, if the infection got bad enough, guess what? They tied it off and they took it off with a machete. They burned the stump and they hope you don't die from it. If you have antibiotics, you have a very good chance.
He's saying cachet while meaning cash. They're different words with different meanings. Gotcha.
Of preventing that from happening. All right. Another good thing to have in there is dental floss and needles. They make great sutures. Alcohol, hydrogen peroxide. You could even use, there are some female feminine products if they aren't, scented or have anything that are good for deep flesh wounds. You can get Vaseline and other.
It's okay. You can say tampons and pads, Terrence. They're not dirty words.
Gauze for burns and stuff like that. That's just stuff that goes in a typical cachet. Another good thing to put in there is batteries, maybe a solar panel for charging, said batteries. After a certain amount of time, rechargeable batteries are king. Regular batteries, they'll be gone. You can put together a decent cachet for like $500 right now in the beginning of 2021. And it might become significantly more expensive moving forward. All right, now number 6, you want to get to an area where you can lay low. All right, you want to lay low until you can get a proper extraction to a safe area. Where that'll be in the lower 48, I do not know yet. But, I'm sure as we move forward and people continue to separate and oil and water, goes crazy, they will become apparent. Again, if you have a group, you can call on other people, especially if you have a ham radio or an AM radio that you can transmit long distance with to get yourself extracted. If you can't do that, find yourself a safe area, again, state or federal land. If you're in Alaska, you can move off into the wild, hang out there, and you can stay there for years, providing you can find water and food and build yourself some shelter. Okay, and don't attract attention because that's bad news bears. All right, again, on your person, you want to maintain some of the following stuff in your vehicle or in a bug out bag. You want to have maps of your area. You want to have a compass. You want to have a water purification system. They have all kinds now. They're not that expensive. You can get the ones you crank, the ones you pump with a thing, whatever. You can literally get some of the smaller ones for like $100 that'll literally purify, 2,500 to 5,000 gallons of water. That's going to take you a long time to go through that much water. You can pretty much burn through that in a year.
Baja says, he thinks this is happening in 72 hours, though. How does he think people can take his advice and prep in that amount of time? Why make this video? That's a good point.
If you bathe in it, but if you're just drinking it, that'll last you a good 2 or 3 years. Okay, and you want to have emergency food. Weapon optional. Now, emergency food, you want something that's going to give you high caloric, with low weight. The best thing for that you can get right now over the counter is peanut butter. All right, you can get huge tubs of peanut butter.
If the apocalypse means I just get to gorge on peanut butter, then please, let's start this shit, okay?
At Costco, Sam's Clubs, BJ's, which is very disappointing. You can't get BJ's at BJ's.
Oral sex joke.
That's another side issue. But, yeah, you can literally, 3 mouthfuls of peanut butter a day with proper water. That one big can of peanut butter could last you a week. You cover 30 miles a day. You can push it. You can probably cover 250 miles.
I feel like you'd be really fucked up. It has calories, but it's not going to have all the nutrients you need to, sustain yourself.
If you have good boots and you're in shape and you're not carrying a piano on your back.
I don't know. I'd maybe go with, powdered... I think potatoes have most of the nutrients that humans need. In, a survival situation, you're not going to thrive, but maybe if you had, dehydrated potato or something that you could get some sort of water source and add the potato to. I don't know. Who knows?
So, You know, it is what it is. Some people hate peanut butter. If you're allergic to peanut butter, then, figure something else out.
Well, that's not very helpful, is it?
I really don't know what to tell you. Maybe if you're not allergic to another type of nut, you can get it like cashew butter or something, almond butter or something like that. It might not have the same caloric impact as peanut butter, but it is what it is. Another thing you could do if you're in a calm or a cool environment is butter and cinnamon, or brown sugar. You just take a scoop of butter, throw it in a little bowl, small handful of brown sugar, stir it up, boom. It's not quite as good as peanut butter, tastes probably a little better, but if you're in a hot environment where the butter will melt, then it's not really a viable option. Oh, you guys want to know about weapons? All right, so we're going to talk about weapons here. Weapons are optional, though you do want to have a survival saw. Basically, it's a folding saw. Those things are great. Hunting knives. You can do all kinds of shit with hunting knives. Just watch the movie Rambo. I know it's bullshit, but a lot of stuff they did with that knife, you can actually do.
Which movie Rambo? Does he mean First Blood, or does he mean John Rambo? Because those are different movies. I'm just curious. Or does he mean Rambo, First Blood Part 2?
Ian.
That series has some of the worst titling in any movie series.
Again, violence is not your first option. A good World War II bolt-action rifle like an Enfield 303.
Migu asks, are Rambo films serious or are they just memes? The first one's relatively serious, First Blood, and then they immediately go off the rails into just ridiculous action movie schlock. But the first one's good.
Or a Mauser. You can find a lot of modern...
And there's certainly entertainment value in the sequels. It's just, the first one's kind of serious and they get stupider and stupider as it goes on. A little bit like the Rocky series, except the Rocky series sort of reined it in the end. Back to a little bit of grounding with 5 and 6, but I don't know.
Modern bolt-action rifles get a military caliber. The ammo's easier to get right now. And you can actually use that if you need to, eat meat or whatever. You got to hunt with it. And, if you are being pursued by the zombie horde, let me tell you.
So does he think the zombie horde is like Democrats or the military or Antifa? What exactly is his left-wing straw man monster that he thinks is going to be coming after him?
A couple of shots in their direction, especially if they can hear the crack of the round going overhead, people slow way down when that is happening. And a lot of people, especially the run-of-the-mill people, they'll be like, well, he might have some food, but is it worth me getting shot over? How about I go look for a more vulnerable target and just let him go about his business? That is what we're doing here. You're not out there doing, crazy offensive operations. Not your deal. Okay, you are here to survive. Bottom line. Anyway, that's all I got for you today. We're going almost on 30 minutes. Holy shit, for an overview, I can run my suck hole. You guys take it easy.
He said 72 hours, though, but he also said, in future videos? So why does he say 72 hours if he thinks he's going to be making future videos? Does he think he's going to have a camera that he's going to carry around with him in this apocalypse? And, I don't know. I think I know what my old lady aesthetic is going to be. It's going to be some glasses like this that are going to be too low most of the time. And I'm going to judge everyone around me constantly. Okay? And I'm going to wear nothing but purple every day, which is already close to what I do. And I'm probably going to have some kind of big-brimmed old lady hat. And I want the neighborhood children to question whether or not I'm a witch. So that's my future plan, okay? So that's Terrence's Civil War bullshit. You get it. And long gray hair. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Every Halloween, I'll dress up like an actual witch. Place your bet, kids. Is she a witch or a pimp? I just described a pimp. I can be both. I can do both. You kids, get off my lawn! I'll turn you into toads! I don't know what people say. Here's Newsmax bashing Biden's dog.
See the dog? Okay, I want to show you something I noticed. Doesn't he look a little rough? I love dogs, but this dog needs a bath and a comb and
he looks like a normal dog.
All kinds of love and care. I've never seen a dog in the White House like this. I remember Buddy, I remember Millie, I remember lots of dogs, but not a dog who seems, I don't know how much love and care he is getting. Let's bring in the historian.
I guarantee this dog is getting more attention and more pampering than almost any other dog in America. He's the first dog.
I'm having fun with this, obviously, but I do want to talk about some stuff. Craig Shirley, Reagan biographer, presidential historian. Craig, welcome back. And Doug Weed.
I don't trust anyone who chooses to spend their entire career focusing on Ronald Reagan.
Presidential historian, former advisor to George H.W. Bush. That's the White House where I remember Millie. Millie had like a staff, and they really took care of her. Very beautiful dog. This dog looks like from the junkyard. And I love that dog, but he looks like he's not been well cared for.
No, not at all. Thank you for having us. No, he looks very dirty and disheveled and very unlike a presidential dog like Millie or Victory or something else in the past in the White House.
What absolute weirdos. Guys, there are actual things you could be criticizing Biden for right now. Like him reversing some of his, like, protections for undocumented immigrants and stuff like that. Criticize him for that. Don't criticize him for his fucking dog not looking how you want him to look. Jesus Christ. What was Trump's pet? Nope. Had to stop myself from making that joke. He did not have a pet. There was no presidential pet for Trump. Anarcho Dolphin, thank you for following. Jeff Mallartz with 50 bits says, I didn't say things that are... Nope, not reading that. 0M80. For the record, the actual message was, nope, not reading that, not me saying that, which is funny. 0M80 says, hi Hannah, me and my grandparents got the second dose of COVID vaccines today. Oh, good for you guys. Thank you for getting them. Barlock Moses with 50 bits says, where the goalpost started, where will it stop? No one knows. Ty, thank you for resubscribing with the 2 months. Is this the Dirty Jobs guy? Looks a little bit like him. Bardlock Moses with 50 bits, college isn't a waste of time. If it was, the military wouldn't use it as a selling point. And Let Live, thank you for following. Bardlock Moses with some bits messages says, there's a Simpsons episode that shows this is BS. Everyone started working together. Florida is a red herring, and he got high watching The Walking Dead. I did that once, and I was like, you know, how you are when you're high, and I was like, yeah, man, this is like what history looked like, just a bunch of people forming little communities and interacting with each other. That was pretty high, you know. Mr. Sir Knight Kingyo says, do not buy military gear from a second-hand source. That's illegal. Towing24 says, Popp thinks the lizard people and Antifa are going to use the Jewish space lasers to take down America. Pinker Bell Pixie with 100 bits. Have any of his terrorist manual videos been taken down? Nope. Dingo Subman says, Terrence, teach me how to ferment my own pee in a societal collapse, please. I need to know how to stay as schnockered as you constantly are when it happens. Amanda Lepre, thank you for following. Genshin Lazy Duck, thanks for following. Bardlock Moses with 50 bits says, is this Tinfoil Tuesday? Did I sleep through Monday? Da Fluffy Oreo, thank you for following. TYY, thank you for the 20 bits, says cash, cash, cash. Daddy Sume says he's too dumb for that, Hannah. A Colston says, off topic, but I found out that John does hang out with women. They're just 30-plus-year-old political pundits, including Sydney Watson. Lord Cuckbucket with 100 bits says, are those Civil War fantasies, or is he planning an attack on the government? At least if he was offering Baker-like food buckets, we know it's a grift, but not knowing what is going through Terrence's mind is terrifying. That it is. Bardlock Moses says it's going to be funny when you find a zombie with a rucksack full of peanut butter. Ghetto Kanya with 20 bits says, Terrence can tell us how to fight and hide from the government, but not an alternative protein source for those allergic to peanuts. Anarchido, thank you for following. TYY with 500 bits says, I'm really annoyed that this chud has not heard of protein bars, like they're lighter than peanut butter and taste like candy. Thrash Mio with 50 bits says, is your hypothetical massage parlor named Tricks and Treats? 0M80 with 25 bits says, does Hannah have to choke a bee? And then Bardlock Moses says, what was Trump's pet? Which we covered. Here's a better pic of the dog with the Trump chew toy. That's a cute puppy. Let's see. We have about 15 minutes left. What do I want to cover in the last 15 minutes or so? Let's just do a little bit of manga cope to close us off. We normally do the manga cope at the beginning, but we can, I don't know. We can do it for the end, I think. Update 2/22/21. CPAC has canceled Young Pharaoh's scheduled appearance following publication of this article. Young Pharaoh's information has also been removed from CPAC's website. The theme of this year's gathering is American Uncancelled. Whoopsie! They did a cancel culture. It's been a month since my very best friend disowned me because I went to the Stop the Steal rally. I miss her. Oh, come back to reality then, and you can be friends again. This is a Baked Alaska music video, I guess.
The liberals are crying, 'cause we never stopped fighting. Started on the Trump train, and now we're all flying. Never look behind us, we were deaf to the bias. We took a leap of faith at a Trump state, 'cause we always knew that it would guide us. Now we're winning so much that we might get sick of winning, but I don't think so.
How's Baked Alaska been since he got arrested? Bad would be my guess.
And I didn't think we'd get this far, but now we elected our hero. And I didn't want to bring this up, but illegals, you gotta go. This is my president.
Jesus Christ, Baked Alaska.
This is my president. This is my president.
Bonk, Baja.
Bonk. This is my president. This is my president.
Thank you, though.
This is my president. Trump is my president. Earned our stripes like Raja. Now we're screaming out MAGA. America was crippled. Now they're walking out water. And we kept it high energy. Shout out to my enemies. This really was a love fest from the silent majority. Yeah, we don't want no spirit cooking going on in the kitchen if I had it my way. Chilling out on the White House front lawn, reading WikiLeaks all day. And I really love my fam, make America great, even if they don't have faith. We made history on November 8th, Independence Day, yeah.
Did he make this in, like, Second Life or something?
My president, this is my president, this is my president, this is my president, this is my president. Trump is my president. Oh, oh, oh. Trump is my president.
Good Lord. CNN fact-checker Daniel Dale was one of the busiest people in the cable news business for several years, but he has almost completely disappeared from the network's programming over the past month or so. What happened? The president stopped lying so much. I'm not saying there's no lying. It's the president, but yeah, the president and the whole cabinet stopped lying so much.
He's 2-0. You can't impeach him. Impeach these nuts. They tried, and they failed. Yet again. If you don't think he's coming back now, oh, y'all are so dumb. So...
He might try and run again if he's alive in, 2 years or so when the election process starts back into gear, which I'm not looking forward to. It's possible he'll run. If not, probably a family member will, whether it's Don Jr. or Ivanka. Either way, probably. It'll be really bad.
Dumb. Everybody talking all that shit. Oh, he was impeached. He can't be president. Guess what? He was not convicted. He was acquitted. So guess what? My man's coming back. Kiss my ass. How those liberal...
He lost the popular vote twice. How do you think it's gonna go if he tries to come back again?
Taste now. Ooh, Biden's our president for right now. Let me say it again. For right now, but my man will be back.
Oh no! How is this your personality? Get a better personality, please.
Trump 2024. Save America again. He'll be back. Can't wait.
Now I got I'll be back from Hamilton stuck in my head, so that's great. Dominion Voting System has filed a $1.3 billion lawsuit against Mike Lindell, the pillow guy. So that's fun. Honoring the life of Rush Limbaugh, January 12th, 1951 to February 17th, 2021. Talent on loan from God. Get a free donut. Buy one donut, get a second one of equal value. They should sell cigars along with the donuts. That would really honor his memory, I think.
To follow the science. Follow the science. That's what we're gonna do.
Is Don Jr. okay? He does not look okay.
Seems the Biden administration only follows the science
like he looks puffy. You know what I mean?
When it actually suits them. One of the things I want to talk about that I've been reading a lot about lately is sort of the stuff as it relates to the teachers union. You've seen what they've done over the last couple of months, the way they've basically held up progress, prevented schools from opening.
Because it's dangerous for them to do so, and I'm glad that they've basically put a stop to attempts to open schools in many places.
The teachers union and those representing them have definitely failed our children in terms of education and everything else. I mean, the teachers union has certainly failed the science they're supposed to be teaching us, because again, it's all political.
Good Lord. Donald Trump won 2020 in a landslide. We will not move on. That's okay. That's the good thing about reality, is it'll move on without you. That's okay. Do you. No one has to give a shit about you, though. Rush Limbaugh. Let's keep the torch burning bright. We the people. Their own infrastructure, Texas Republicans. Why would AOC do this? And we're already back to what we had seen previously. Let me see if I can get some stuff on a different Twitter. Sorry about the screen thing. I'm always concerned about Twitter, because sometimes random dicks and porn will show up on my Twitter feed. So I want to make sure that I don't put that kind of stuff on screen. Cool. In case you were wondering what Gab CEO Andrew Torba wants, here's a look. He posted this 3 hours ago. United States of Canada. Oh, God. What the fuck? Just had sex to real Donald Trump's acceptance speech. If that's not American, I don't know what is. What the hell? I'll never drink another Coke product again. No more Coca-Cola for me. Too communistic. Hashtag boycott Coca-Cola. Hashtag boycott Coke. Hashtag boycott Coca-Cola products at Coca-Cola. Boycott all Coke products. They hate cancel culture, though, guys. I thought about covering the Coke thing today. I decided not to, though. Maybe next Chud Watch. I just wasn't that in. It seemed like your typical thing where a company program did a thing, and then all the Chuds are like, oh my god! Someone leaked Coca-Cola companies, like, something about their diversity program. And it was basically just like, hey, be aware of your, biases. Be aware that you come from a different cultural background than other people. Be aware of the ways in which you are privileged. And one of the lines, which they should have known better than to say it in exactly this way, because of course it was going to be picked up by, like, Chuds and stuff. It was, try to be less white. And all the Chuds are freaking out about it. But I decided not to cover it today, but maybe later in the week.
Not lifting me up in prayer. Not a day goes by that my mom is not lifting me up in prayer.
That's right.
For hours at a time. For hours. For hours. For hours. Not a day goes by that my mom...
Is there anybody above the Supreme Court? The Supreme Court seems to be compromised. Seems Supreme Court doesn't believe in the law of the land, and they are compromised, which we figured already. Someone get this woman a dictionary so she can find out what supreme means. Do you know why liberals have so much white guilt? Because they're racists. Ah, yes, historically racists definitely feel bad about things like slavery. What? 1.3 billion will bankrupt Mike Lindell and MyPillow. We must support him. Please go right now and use code whatever for huge discounts. Let's show Mike that we will never let them cancel him. Good luck with that. Enjoy your shitty pillows. At my barbershop, I'm doing anti-Chinese infiltration training this week. I'm self-employed. No employees. Don't worry. What does that even mean? She's just training people to be fucking racist? What the shit? Trump just shredded the Supreme Court? What? What he lost his court case today to obfuscate his tax forms from New York. What are you talking about? Urgent, Facebook is now threatening to completely unpublish our entire PragerU Facebook page for repeated violations of their community guidelines. They have also banned us from advertising many of our educational videos. Please sign this petition and share with 10 friends. Oh, if they start removing PragerU, I don't think my body can handle that level of excitement. We could find out, though. Brett Kavanaugh and Amy Barrett have been a disaster as Supreme Court picks. Aw, they didn't rubber stamp everything our Lord and Savior Donald Trump wanted. What a waste. Oh, no. That's not Joe Biden. Do some research, peeps. No executive orders have been actioned or recorded. We debunked that some weeks ago. It takes about a week for executive orders that have been signed to be certified and verified and put into the system and to take effect. And because, Biden signed them and they didn't go on the website that catalogs executive orders immediately, they were like, this is a conspiracy. Why aren't these on the website immediately?
You can't harass a sitting president. Oh, but now that he's out, I guess you can harass him all you want. But again, if they can do this to Donald Trump, who can't they do it to? Who won't they do it to? This doesn't reek of the American justice system. This sounds like China, where you can politically persecute your enemies. And even if you have nothing, guess what? You can get them to spend millions and millions of dollars defending themselves, and you face no consequence when you're wrong. Even if nothing happens, even if they don't get what they're obviously looking for, they get the win because they get you to spend millions of dollars defending their nonsense. The Supreme Court...
I don't think Don Jr., if he runs, will have as good of a job, as good of a... How do I put this? I don't think Don Jr.'s cult following would be as strong as his dad's. You know what I mean? He doesn't have that cadence that Trump has, I think, that pulls a lot of people in. He just seems like a waspy, like hedge fund type dude. You know what I mean? Who knows, though? If vaccines cured viruses, there would be a vaccine cure for HIV. There isn't. There's no cure for HIV/AIDS. Vaccines aren't cures. They're preventative. And I don't know, specifically what it is about HIV that makes it difficult to create something like a vaccine for, but they haven't been able to. There isn't a guarantee that you're able to create a vaccine for every single virus. Time for Texas to secede. We do not recognize the foreign entities running the United States Incorporated. No more time to save the Republic of America. It mutates at an incredibly high frequency, says Baha, 4th-year PhD candidate in developmental genetics. So thank you. They should move the Statue of Liberty to Florida. Supreme Court has been fully compromised by the swamp via death threats and blackmail. Can all citizens sue Dominion for grand larceny? No, because they didn't commit larceny of any sort. Yeah, but they can't win. If they sue him, they would have to prove that he's wrong. That's impossible. Reminds me of Ralph Wiggum. That's impossible. Okay, that's probably good for today. Let's see who we can raid. I'm sorry with the pretzels. I gotta stop. That's a terrible habit of mine. In terms of supporting Hannah's stream, which is better, gifted subs or donations via Streamlabs? They're both good. The donations via Streamlabs go directly to me, whereas the gifted subs, half of the money, it depends on the tier of the sub. But like tier 1 subs, I share half of the money with Twitch. But also it's sort of a way to bring people back to the stream. If they're subbed, they're more likely to come to streams and stuff. So, you know, either or. Let's see who I'm gonna raid. Ooh, Bad Bunny's talking about Jordan Peterson. I'm gonna do Bad Bunny. Bits messages. The Ender 92 says, "Rip, just got here. Have a good evening, Hannah. Love the lipstick." Thank you. I hope you have a good evening, too. Daddy Sume says it mutates too much. Lord Cuckbucket says, "This is my prison cell. My prison cell. I follow Trump. Stop the steal. To stop the steal, he led us to the Capitol. I thought we'd send Lib straight to hell, but here I am in my prison cell." Baked Alaska's remix. Newmanog says, thanks to you in chat, laughing out loud during Terrence. Hope to catch Tinfoil Tuesday live. I hope you can come too. And Lord Cuckbucket says, Baja needs to realize all her years of studying and hard work can be outdone by one rich idiot that just says viruses are a hoax. How frustrating. It is. It's all very frustrating. Okay, everyone. Thanks for coming to the stream. I appreciate it. You're all wonderful and valid. I hope to see you tomorrow for Tinfoil Tuesday. We will have a wonderful time looking at all sorts of conspiracy theories. Lupine is looking right at me. Hi, Lupine. I'll be done in a sec. And, yeah, that's it. So have a wonderful evening, everyone. Love you all. Good night.